Christine, it is almost January, which for me is doctor season.
No! Say it
And
ain't so!
it ain't so. So I guess it is so. And unfortunately, I've got a lot of things I gotta do. I gotta check my hearing, gotta check my eyeballs, gotta check my what else? I have a lot of doctors coming up, and I don't know where to look. Oh wait, yes I do. I have to go to ZocDoc.
No, it's really amazing. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high quality in network doctors and click to instantly book an appointment. They have, we've been using this for, I think, like 10 years or something,
Mm-hmm.
like nine, like a really long time.
Yeah.
And nowadays it's so much more robust even than it was then. You don't have to call anybody on the phone. You can see more than 100,000 doctors on the app across every specialty from mental health to dental health, etc. And you can filter them by insurance, see their ratings and reviews and their openings. So you don't even have to call the office. Just click it, and then within 24 to 72 hours, you've got an appointment.
Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/drink to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/drink. ZocDoc.com/drink. Pass.
The
Cran. Wait, are we doing it by syllable or word? I forget.
that would mean I say bear, and then you say e.
So you don't want to try that, is what I'm hearing. Okay.
Oh my god, wait. We should try that. After the normal version, we should try the remix.
Okay.
That's
Pass.
insane. Sorry, you really caught me off guard. I was like, bear?
Okay,
Oh my god.
pass.
The
Cranberry
sauce
where
having
mashed
potatoes.
ooh
The
turkey
looks
great.
thank
You
for
loving
me.
thank
You
for
being
there
everyone's
having
thanking
the
the
everyone's thinking
the
you know
usually I'm the one who gets in trouble for forgetting this.
everyone's thinking
The whole
You.
world's thinking you
for thinking us thinking you kill the turkey.
kill the turkey. Now
Wow.
let's do it syllable by syllable. I think we're ready.
Halfway through I thought I'm so impressed that I didn't even have to prepare and practice this song.
Incredible.
Every-
You got
what is
pretty
it?
far.
Everyone's thanking you for thanking us for thanking you.
Everyone's
right?
thinking, the whole world's thanking you
I forgot about that.
for thanking us, for thanking you.
Kill the turkey.
Lynn. I love that. Lynn.
We should add Lynn to the end of
You
it.
should
too.
just be doing Lynn the whole time. That was at least a create. Listen, last year or the year before, we forgot. So listen.
So I hope that was twice as good for
Take
everybody.
it or leave it, people. You either get this or you get nothing.
We'll try again
Next
week. No, next week because this is the beginning of the Thanksgiving bookends.
Oh, because it's in the middle, right? Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
so we
so
can have
the next, next time it'll be fucking flawless. This was just the dress rehearsal.
syllable by syllable. It'll be out of control. It's next
Oh,
year.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Yeah, wow, that was beautiful. Are you at home? Yes, you are. I just looked at your background.
I am.
No
I am.
beautiful hotel art today, unfortunately.
Not today. No. Luckily I finally get to be here for a second. But yeah, everything's going all right over here, I guess. Although I'm gonna just jump in. The reason I drink right now is because
Please.
our AC is our heat is broken.
Oh, you have
And
heat. Remember when I lived in a house that only had heat in LA and not AC?
Yeah.
And it was really like so
crime.
backwards. Yeah. And well, you had to live there too half your life because of the recording.
That was incredible. It was
Yeah,
a breathtaking
yeah.
time.
It
Well,
was.
usually I never even use the heat, but of course this was the 1 week where it's been frigid and storming the whole time, and it's been like yesterday it got down to like 50, I think, which for us is
It's
winter.
chilly.
And it's just the one time I need the heat, and it's been like at max 65 degrees in here, and so I've just been cold. So until the HVAC people get here, I just bought like a space heater, and my place is
Oh my
small
god, are
enough
they
that,
put?
like,
Oh
a
wait, is the
space
heat
heater can fix it.
broken or is the heat just non-existent? Like, is there
No,
heat?
it is existent, but it is broken.
Oh, okay,
Sorry.
gotcha.
But so I got a space heater to keep the house warm.
I just picture you and Hank huddled under a shared blanket.
We both slept on the couch last night together next to the space heater. But the space heater worked well, and now it's too fucking hot, but I don't want to like let the cold air in because then I don't know how long it'll take to like to re-neutralize the room. So
Oh
I'm kind
my.
of a little sweaty. And
Can you, like, turn it off?
I did turn it off.
Oh, okay. I
But
was
it's just
like
I'm kind of waiting for the cold to seep back in, and then I'll be too cold, and then I'll have to wait forever for the heat to fix it. It's just a dance I'm doing over here all by myself. So
Yeah, yeah, it's too bad we can't be cold-blooded like those iguanas or whatever.
you're telling me.
Yeah.
Why do you drink this week?
Hey, have you ever seen about those iguanas that fall out of trees?
Did one hit you in the head?
No,
Oh,
although that would explain a lot, but have you heard about that?
no, I thought that was your entry into why you drink
Oh,
this week.
no, but that is a great question. I wish I could say yes, but no. Apparently, in Florida, when it gets too cold, these, I think they're iguanas, will like freeze and
Mhm.
not freeze, like, but their body, because they're cold blooded, and they'll fall out of a tree, and people will like pick them up and they're like stunned. And so they
Yeah.
think they're dead, and then they bring them into their house for some reason. I mean, I say that judgmentally as if I wouldn't do the exact same thing. And then they come alive in the
Those things
warmth.
are also fucking huge.
They're
They're the size
huge.
of like in my mind like what an alligator
They're
is
like
the
a
size of
geo
like a
size
baby.
in my
Yeah,
head.
like a
They're
baby
crazy.
alligator. Yeah. They're huge. I
But
can't
imagine just like thudding out of the trees. I mean, that's like a
ugh.
nightmare.
If some
Florida's insane.
if one of those fell and hit you in the head, you could die for sure.
I mean, really, I shouldn't even joke about it. You're right. It's probably
Someone has, I guess,
dangerous.
but
Florida
um
man killed when iguana falls. Yeah, exactly. Like,
oy oy oy. Well,
anyway.
um my before I ask you, I was gonna say the reason I drank up until 5 minutes ago and I was way too fucking hot was gonna be because it finally rained and I had my moment. It's been like I got to have my
Hey!
stormy little cup of tea next to the window and watch the rain,
And shiver
and
frigidly.
wear my cozy clothes finally. Um, anyway, that was what I was gonna say. But what I really want to get to is like, can you how was your trip? Have I seen you since your trip?
Oh, Hawaii? It was great. I'm like, what trip? Yes, it was lovely. My friend got married. It was awesome. We went on a rum safari.
Oh yeah,
I
I
got
did see you. You did say rum
Yeah, it
safari
was
last time.
well, I talk about it a lot because I think it's just the coolest thing to do at a wedding. And then we got to throw tortillas at the pigs. Um,
Nope, we didn't talk about this. What now?
yeah, so there was a rum safari in the jungle, and then we got to throw tortillas at the pigs because that's
Do they like that?
they loved it. They loved the stuff. And then we got to pet a horse. It was just like a really magical. And then my friend got married to her the love of her life, and it was so beautiful. I cried the entire time, which
Did you?
usually, yeah, I've like not been a huge crier lately, but weddings, man, they get me every time, especially a gay wedding. I'm like, oh, I love it. And
Well,
then I
especially
said I love love, and they were like, you're not allowed to say that. Anything but that. And I was like,
did you just wear a big rainbow
I
dress to show your
really, I was like,
solidarity?
I'm at a gay wedding. I love love. Yeah, it was great.
Did you what was I gonna say? Uh oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? Where in Hawaii did you go?
Kauai. And I saw my friend Gina, and she's such a kook. She's so funny. She made me. Shit, I forgot it. I'll show. Oh, can we do? Okay, this is. I swear we don't script this. Sometimes people get annoyed, but I'm serious. I want to show for our intermission the gift that Gina gave me, which is this
Okay.
like wild resin graveyard situation with
Yes.
live animals in it that are no longer alive.
Iguanas.
It's she she made a plaster cast. She put resin all over an iguana, and then it came back alive. No, no, she made me this. She's just such a funny character. She's a character. You know when you just know someone, you're like, wow,
Yeah,
you're just fascinating. And I met her in Egypt, and
I see.
then
Okay.
sorry, I forgot to add that. And then she's like, oh, I live on Kauai, and I was like, hang on a minute, I'm going there in November. So we hung out for lunch, and she showed me her like she built her own bed. Like this is the kind of
So
like it's
cool.
yeah, it's just wild. She's just wild. And so she does stained glass, and she also does resin work, and she's also a chocolatier. She went to culinary school.
That's all you had to say.
I know. And I should have led with that. And she's just so funny. So we hung out, and she made me this like crazy light up crystal graveyard thing. And it has dead animals, well, dead insects in it. It's so scary. I'm gonna show it to you in the Yappy Hour.
Perfect.
But so it was great. It was a great trip. It was very and then and then she dropped me off at a yellow convertible at the welcome dinner, and my friend was like, "Was that your Uber?" And I was like, "Oh no, that's my friend Gina." And she's like, your friend Gina. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. This is like the bride. She's like, where were you? I was like, oh, my friend Gina and I were hanging out. Here's the
Here's
here's
my
the
dead bugs that
skull.
I
Yeah,
got
here's the
though.
skull she gave me. I'm like, anyway, it was like a very goofy but fun time. Thank you for
Oh,
asking.
I was gonna say, I just remembered. One of the reasons I imagine you were crying is because it was like a childhood friend getting
It
married
was,
too, right? So,
yes,
how long have
yes.
you known her?
Ever since first grade when I bullied her because, well, actually, that's okay. This is why I drink because this got brought up 70,000 times at the wedding.
17,001.
Here it comes. When we were in first grade, now I don't remember this, and this is actually quite an admission, and I feel like if my therapist ever listens to an episode, this is the one she should listen to because it really does crack open like a whole other side of myself that I've never explored. The year was 1997.
Oh,
It just occurred to me at the wedding as people were telling the story that was also the year my parents got divorced, so let's write that down.
oh,
And I
okay.
was
Well,
clearly having a moment. Okay, I was going through it. I didn't even barely speak English. I had a pretty
sure
thick
with this
accent.
again, the fucking English. Okay.
I know. Listen, it's important context. And I'm sitting there with my little accent. I don't really know anyone. I'm just always observing, right? I'm like always just, hyper vigilant.
hmm
And for some reason,
hmm
one afternoon, everyone goes to recess and I hide in the coat room. And then everyone goes out to recess and I stay behind and I switch everyone's backpacks. We all had like name tags on our cubbies. And I switch everybody's backpack in the entire grade, and it's like 65 kids. I take Alyssa Evans' backpack and I think to myself, this girl, she had it coming. And I walk into the boys' bathroom
Had
and
she done anything where she really deserved it to be coming?
she did. She would brag about how tall she was all the time.
You
And I,
bitch.
I was like, get the fuck out of here with this. You're not special. By the way, it's very funny because now she's like 5'3". So like she's very short.
But 5'3" in first grade is incredible.
I mean, she was really tall and she was older than me. And I thought, like, what is her deal? And so then I took her back. I mean, literally, we had no beef. There's no
You're like, this
discernible
will humble
reason.
her real fast.
I wanted to humble her. And I took her backpack and I put it in the trash can of the boys' bathroom. Like, what an insane thing to do. And so I put it in the trash can. And then I write a bunch. Oh my gosh. There was my friend Olivia at the time. I wrote her a note and pretended to be a boy in school. And I said, I love you. And
I
then
did that too, and I was gay, dude.
Okay, well, yeah, again, therapist, write that down, please.
I think you were having your first bi awakening with
It could
Olivia.
very well be. She was very pretty. And our friendship didn't last long. I wonder why.
Because she liked someone else, I think.
Uh-huh. Actually, do you know what? We also had a club. It was called the Ghost or the Scary Ghost Club or something. Okay, we have a lot to talk about. It's fine. We'll talk about it another time. I forgot about that. So then I so I fuck with everyone and then I sneak back out and I so vividly remember it was like total dissociation. Then I went outside and I remember being behind the building and thinking to myself, welp, too late now. And I just
Mhm.
and because I was so, not to be like dramatic, invisible, I like snuck around the corner and just kind of like hung out on the swing for the rest of recess. Nobody clocked that I was missing. And chaos ensued. The entire grade erupted in like, where's my backpack? And I mean, I switched like
I feel like you
girls
look
and
like
boys.
Regina George standing in the middle of a hallway and everyone's just chaos around her, but she's standing kind of like.
That's kind of what it felt like. And I was like, whoa, I've tasted power. And I just felt like, oh my God, this is the beginning of a serial killer or something. And so I was like, kind of like immediately regretting it because I was like, this could go really bad. And like people are really upset. And I don't know what I thought would happen. I don't think I was thinking it through, but I just thought this would be a funny prank. And then it like wasn't funny. And the way Alyssa tells it now is that everyone finally found their backpack except for Alyssa. And she missed the bus. And so
Oh.
she missed dance class. And
Oh.
she had to have somebody come pick her up. And they finally found her backpack in the boys' bathroom. So, of course, a few days, the next day they have this big all grade meeting.
Oh no. Like because of you?
Yes. And so they sit
Ugh.
us all down and they say, we know who did this. We already know who did it. I want everyone to close their eyes. And the person who did it, we need you to raise your hand. You won't get in trouble if you admit it right now. Everyone closes their eyes. And I'm like, bullshit. You have no fucking clue. You're bluffing. They were fully bluffing. They never figured out it was me. They were basically like, she doesn't even speak English. How could she be? That's not her.
Well, also like Another defense you could have used is, well, I don't speak English, so I don't understand what you just fucking told me. Or I would have
Sorry. Yeah.
raised my hand, you know?
No clue. Yeah. Sorry about that love note I wrote in
Spreche de
English.
Deutsch? I don't, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what happened. Oh, the craziest part is that just kind of went away. Like, we moved on. Nobody ever talked about it again. Nobody ever figured out it was me. I
I
was a
guess
straight A student. Like, I wasn't like causing any other trouble. That was the one thing I ever did like in school that was like really chaotic and could have gotten me in big trouble. And I think I just like quit while I was ahead, you know? I was
Mhm.
like, well, I did it. And
Well,
then
now I've tasted power. Time to wrap it
yeah,
up. Yeah.
time to wrap it up, right? At least I have control, unlike some of these men, you know, in the government. They're like, let me keep going. Get it together. So then Alyssa and I become like best friends. We are ride the bus together for many years, ironically, because my mom gets divorced and moves to the same neighborhood where Alyssa lives. So we're on the same bus and it's all great and hunky dory. And then we're like 17 or 18. My dad takes Alyssa and me to Skyline Chili and we're just having dinner and we're talking about what kind of backpacks we used in elementary school, and Alyssa goes, "Oh my god, do you remember in first grade the time that one somebody like switched all our backpacks?" And I'm like, "No, not really. I literally didn't remember." And she's like, "You don't remember that? Somebody took my backpack and like put it in the trash of the boys' bathroom." And my eyes start going wide, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" And I said, "I don't know how to tell you this, but." That was me. And she was so shocked. She was like, "Why?" I was like, "'Cause you thought you were so cool." It really was like 10 years later that this finally came out. And I didn't even remember.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. Like, what is going on?
If you could have gone back in time and just told yourself, like, don't worry, the growing stops. Like she won't be tall forever. Like
One day you'll be filming her wedding on
you don't
on
have to do this.
yeah, and you'll realize, "Oh, she's actually shorter than everyone here." And it'll be so fulfilling.
You
Woo!
know, the second you got taller than her, she should have just stolen your suitcase or something.
I know.
She's you
It's
owe
just
her.
I do. No, trust me. I've spent the rest of our friendship trying to make up for it. And it really was like one of those moments where I went, that sounds so familiar. But you know, I was so good that I switched my own backpack. Like I'm not stupid. Like I
Right.
wasn't just gonna stand there and pretend like I'm the only one whose backpack didn't get switched. Like I put more the thing is I remember planning this, which is also
Mhm.
insane because I remember the day before being like, tomorrow's the day.
The insane thing too is that your final act of all of it was to even make yourself forget. So that way, like, there was
Yeah!
no.
That's how good I was masking, is I
The
was like,
alibi
I
was
would never
insane.
do something like that.
Yeah,
Or would I?
that's criminal mastermind right there.
I mean, it really yeah. So
Well
anyway,
done.
that's how Alyssa and I met.
Great. You know what? You ended up at her wedding, so everything turned out fine.
I was like one of the only guests at her wedding. I felt like I pretty much nailed the whole redeeming myself thing. So
Perfect.
that's why I
Perfect.
drink.
A great reason to drink. I bet that's why Alyssa drinks too.
You know what? Everyone kept bringing it up, so I think she got plenty of entertainment out of it. Yep.
Perfect. Well,
Also, if anyone wants to weigh in on like maybe on a therapeutic psychological level, please feel free.
I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I think you just
Do you?
Yeah, I think you just needed some control for a
To
second.
let off some yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. You were 6. Who cares?
But I was so good at it.
That's interesting.
That's scary. That's what scares me. And then I'm like looking at Leona, who's literally a duplicate of me, and I'm like, uh-oh.
Well, the second you
Uh-oh.
get a call from the school and they're like, everyone's backpacks are all
I'd be like,
crazy.
sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Yeah. That does mean you speak German, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure that I didn't just like
No, very good. Very apropos, yes.
throw another language out under the bus
Mhm.
for some reason.
Hey, Leona really won't eat anything unless she decides that it's time for her to eat those things. And it's exactly what a 4-year-old would say, what you'd expect. And that's why Blaze and I are very thrilled that we found Nurture Life, or I guess Nurture Life found us, because they will...
Who rescued who?
Who rescued who? Because, well, they rescued me, there's no doubt, because they send these healthy, nutritionally balanced diet meals, but it has like mac and cheese, spaghetti and meatball, like things that, like, chicken nuggets, things she'll actually eat, but they're like structured in a way that you're not just kind of willy-nilly guessing nutrition wise. And it's been a lifesaver because she just gets her little tray and she feels really special because it's like, you know, her own meal.
Mhm.
And they're really nutritious and they only take a minute to prep.
And you can choose from more than 50 nutritious meals and snacks on their menu, from finger foods
Mhm.
to babies and toddlers to kids' meals to older kids. And the Nurture Life does the cooking for you, and the fresh meals are delivered straight to your door in refrigerated packaging.
So head to nurturelife.com/drink and use code DRINK for 55% off your first order plus free shipping.
That's right. It's 55% off plus free shipping. Once again, that's nurturelife.com/drink. And make sure you use our promo code DRINK. Even if you aren't a parent with young kids, you might have parent friends who struggle with mealtime. So make sure to share our code so our show gets the credit.
Yeah, we deserve the credit. Remember, put your little ones first with healthy meals from Nurture Life.
Anytime I have to look classy, I got Quince. I
Yes.
recently got a blazer from them.
Oh,
I don't know about how if it really is recently anymore because I got it a few months ago and I've
but they get
shockingly
so
worn
much
it
use. I know, that's the thing.
so many times.
Yeah, because they're like classy and like chic, and they're not like a one and done, like, oh, I've already worn that.
Especially since I basically only ever wear tie-dye. I was like, when am I gonna wear this? But it looked too good to pass up. And then I actually like 3 different events have happened where I needed a blazer and I was like, oh well, this
Oh,
works out
well, don't
just
mind if
fine.
I do,
Yeah.
okay? No, they have it all. $50 Mongolian cashmere sweaters. Also got one of those bad boys made for everyday wear. Denim. Oh my gosh, I bought my jeans there now too. I'm just reminding myself of all the things that I have filled my beautiful home with. They have all sorts of awesome things. Also, great gifts, just FYI, like if you're looking for gifts. Quince Italian wool coats are gorgeous. I have them on my wish list, multiple on my wish list. So maybe someday Santa will find that and get me one.
Step into the holiday season with layers made to feel good, look polished, and last from Quince. It's perfect for gifting or keeping for yourself.
Go to quince.com/drink for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/drink to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/drink.
Okay, well, I have a story for you. I know that I want to give you a thank you because we're recording an hour late because I was trying to finish up some notes. Um and even though you gave me that hour, I have to regretfully tell you that I still didn't do nearly as much research as I would have liked because every time I thought, "Oh, this is the last documentary," there was like 5 more that showed up, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Well,
So
and then
I
you have to weigh the like pros and cons because you're like, okay, well, obviously, more I know, the better. But then I can get inundated with so much info that you're like, well,
Mhm.
what do I include? What do I leave out? Yeah,
Well,
it's
thank
hard.
you for justifying that because I do feel like there's got to be, I'm sure one documentary I didn't watch had like some completely different plot twist and I didn't get to see that one. So I hope I do this justice. I did quite a lot of research, but I don't know if I'm going to miss a big plot hole. Usually I don't rest until I've watched and gathered everything. And this time I was trying to just do my notes and then I was going to watch stuff and it just timing it didn't work out, I guess. But anyway, so I'm a little nervous to cover this. Hopefully people in
You
the
got it.
area
You
are
got it. Oh, that's not me
proud of
snapping at
me.
you to like hurry up. That's me clapping
Yeah, I got
with
you.
one hand. Okay. Just
Yeah.
make sure it's not like, okay, speed it up now.
All right then,
Are
hurry
you paying
up.
attention?
Yeah. Okay, so I guess this is my attempt at the Kecksburg Incident, which is a
UFO.
UFO moment.
I've heard about it, but I don't know any. I don't remember
See,
any.
that's
No, but I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't remember. I promise. I say that to say, OMG, I'm excited for a UFO story because I actually yesterday was thinking, God, I keep learning stuff about aliens and hearing stuff about aliens. They're everywhere
hmm,
in my like it might be the algo, just my
sure.
life algo. And so I think you're just kind of confirming that for me.
Well, thank you. Well, I one of the things that I'm most frustrated about is that I constantly want to give you UFO stories because I know you enjoy them,
And I cannot be
after
satiated.
after like 500 episodes, there's only so many left with really good meat to them. So I want to do
Yes.
those justice, and this happens to be one of them. And then I just like couldn't even. There was the what did fucking Lindsay Lohan say? The limit does not exist when it comes to like
I was like, didn't a mathematician say that? What did Lindsay Lohan
yes,
say?
played by Lindsay
I
Lohan.
was like, Lindsay Lohan said a lot of things.
No, I'm just frustrated because like I finally got a really good one, and then like I just kept there kept being more, and I'm like, well, there's nothing I can do at some point. So,
Listen, what I tell myself in those scenarios is, hey, I can always do a deeper dive for
that's true.
some other YouTube, Patreon, or another episode. Who knows?
We
You
can
can do
always
what you want.
revisit. We can always revisit.
This is your world. We're just living in it.
You know, And I've always said that. So,
And Lindsay Lohan has always said that.
and she's always backed me mathematically.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So Kecksburg is in Pennsylvania. Actually, the Kecksburg Incident has also been called by a few of these articles and documentaries as Pennsylvania's Roswell.
Oh, okay.
Which, by the way, I'm aware I've never covered Roswell because that one horrifies me. Talk about it having a lot of meat to it.
Oh, horrifies. I was gonna say I know some creepy stuff happened there, but yeah, as far as research is concerned, yeah, that
Yeah,
seems
that'll
like
be a big one.
big one.
That'll be like a 3-parter situation, I
Multi-part,
think.
yeah.
Um,
Because then there's all this stuff during when like
the government gets involved. I hate when the government
and
gets
then Gen
involved.
Z got involved. I hate when Gen Z gets involved.
Oh, yeah,
Just
remember-
kidding. They were
remember-
all like, "We're going to Roswell," and it's like COVID. And anyway,
Literally, like they. I feel like that was right when COVID.
it was like
kicked in, or
right.
I think it got
Yes.
canceled because of COVID or something like
It
that.
was almost like it got started during COVID, and then they were like, "Wait a second, we can't really do that." And then the day
Yeah.
it was supposed to happen, only a few people showed up or something. It's like they had no follow through.
For those who don't know, there was like a massive group of people, like thousands and thousands
Well, and
of
think
people.
about how TikTok was like taking off. So it was like the
Mhm.
first like big TikTok Gen Z movement.
This whole group of people were like, we're going to go storm Area 51. We're tired of them not telling us what's in there. And they were like, they
And
can't get
now's
all
the
of us.
time. yeah,
They
they can't get
of
all
us.
of us. I mean, that's the most Gen Z thing I ever heard.
And,
Just try.
And I feel like it happened in like March 2020. And I think with COVID, they were like, we'll postpone. And then the fire died. Anyway.
Tragic. Maybe you can reignite it for us.
Maybe the government created COVID so they wouldn't fucking storm Area 51.
Oh, finally, a theory that makes sense.
Thank you. Okay, so Kecksburg Incident is in Kecksburg, Pennsylvania, and this was in 1965. This was in December. Kecksburg, by the way, is 30 miles south of Pittsburgh. So-
Okay.
and it was a small little area. The population wasn't even 1,000 people. So, around 4:45 p.m., all of a sudden, multiple reports start coming in the area of a fireball in the sky.
Fireball in the sky. I can go twice as high.
Just need a butterfly to fly past the
Aw, just
screen
like
or
with
something.
really, really pixelated graphics.
They said that they saw a fireball in the sky. They said it looked from where they were standing as to up in the sky as about a football-sized object, which I would say that's like
That feels big.
pretty fucking big, right? If it's a
Like, if it
football size
looks
in the sky.
Ball size to you, right? Then it's pretty fucking large.
Like a plane looks like a football size maybe to me in the
Yeah.
sky. Not even.
Like if it's like pretty low, yeah.
So, yeah, it was a football-sized object on fire with smoke trailing behind it.
Uh-oh.
And many people also reported that not only was there this fireball, but there was a lot of falling debris in the area.
Mm.
Not only people in Pennsylvania saw this is the strangest part, and like weirdly not fucking elaborated on at all, is that people in different states apparently saw this in different chunks. Like there were reports through like Ohio, Indiana, Virginia, Canada. There like it like multiple reports where like if you line it all up, it sounds like they all saw the same thing, but as it was passing through their areas.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm understanding. If I'm getting that wrong, somebody tell me,
I mean,
because it was shocking to me how
Ohio-
little that was talked about.
Like Ohio and Pennsylvania makes sense, I guess. Like if it were going in a certain direction.
One of them was like
And Indiana.
Indiana was one
That's
of them.
also on the line. The only thing that throws me off is Canada. But I guess maybe
Yeah.
if you came from the north and swooped into Indiana, I don't know.
I have no idea. All I know is that hang on, my stepdad just texted me.
Oh shit.
He said something about getting me a hover disc for Christmas. What?
Okay, you better respond to that right away and
He
say
said,
100 emoji, 100 emoji.
Check it out and tell me what you think. Everybody is gonna watch me look at this hover
Say
disc.
Christine would also like one too.
Oh, it's literally a big ass drone or something. It looks like a lawnmower but a backpack. I don't want
What?
this. What is this?
What are you
I
gonna,
don't.
okay,
I'm just gonna write.
but tell me what you say to say no thank you.
I think I'm just gonna write N
That's hard.
O.
Oh. I'm like, you have to be really thoughthtful about that. And you're like, no.
Well, the irony, I just sent him, I know I'm like literally in my 30s talking to a man in his 60s, but I sent him a Christmas list because I just wanted to
my
make
God.
sure.
And he's like, how about this instead?
Yeah, I was like, did you not just see
What's on your
everything else I
Christmas
sent you?"
list?
like a mug and like a sweatshirt I saw. Like it was like nothing big. I was like, hey, in case you need any
A new
ideas,
HVAC system.
a fucking hover disc lawnmower backpack
I
or
mean, to be
something.
fair, that does scream M.
It does sound,
It
yeah.
does.
But I was like, the mug is fine, you know. That's all I
Actually,
need.
let's just stick to the mug. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I was like, because I also know my mom, bless her, she tries really hard, but a lot of times she'll send me things that like 17-year-old me would have loved, and I'm like, I
Right.
think maybe we
That's the
need some
classic.
inspo. So let
Yeah.
me just send some inspo your way.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, sorry everyone, you're watching the Christmas planning happening.
Seriously, I'm into it.
But yeah, so I thought that was really odd that there were reports from all these places that if you line them up time wise, it sounds like they were all seeing the same thing flying through their area at
Okay.
according times,
Interesting.
at their respective times. Anyway, um, and even pilots from the sky saw something fiery in the sky but couldn't tell what it was. Some people on the ground reported seeing just a glowing object with wisps of colorful light flying above them. Some people saw something glowing really, really brightly where they couldn't even look at it. There were reports of an object that was slowly descending from the sky, almost as if it was attempting a controlled landing.
Okay, because I was gonna say you wouldn't think it would be a slow descent if it were like just a meteor crashing to Earth, but what do I
Well,
know?
I think you know a lot. Remember that fucking sentence you just said.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to hear.
Um, this is one quote. This is two quotes from two different people that saw something that day. We saw this thing coming over the top of the trees. It just glided right across the sky, like across the horizon. Another person said, you knew what an airplane looked like, you knew what a helicopter looked like, and that didn't look like anything we had ever seen before. And at the angle it was coming in, you knew that it was going to hit the ground. Which is
That's the
terrifying.
scariest thing. Yeah, to
Yeah.
see something like, and you're like, that's crash. I've had dreams about that, like helicopters crashing and stuff.
Yeah.
Freaks me out.
Well, I mean, a fireball of coming towards you and like it's getting bigger and bigger and you know it's going to fall.
And you can't do anything. You can't like even warn anyone, you know?
And to me, for some reason, the eeriest part is that other people said it looked like it was trying to
Yes.
control its landing.
Yes.
So it's almost like, let's pretend it was a UFO and there were aliens inside. It was almost like they were trying to do like an emergency landing of
Yeah.
their own spacecraft. And then now I'm empathetic towards the fucking aliens. I'm like,
I
oh no.
know. Put on your seatbelt.
Yeah. So anyway, a lot of people in Kecksburg, Pennsylvania, despite all these other places making reports, in Kecksburg, they started reporting to see something crash land in the woods. There were apparently reports of a sonic boom, which not everybody heard, which makes me think it wasn't a sonic boom.
I don't know if that's quite. That's what we would call a sonic boom, as that day's like yellow journalism.
So sometimes
we'd
when I
be like,
sneeze too loud, I call it a sonic boom.
right,
you know?
exactly. Yeah. It's just called colorful language.
Yeah. A lot of people also were reporting fires in grass nearby them, almost as if one of two things was happening, that maybe it had already begun crashing. It was bouncing across the field and leaving like this big fiery spot on the ground, or that it was falling apart in pieces
I was
and
gonna
the
say
flaming debris was hitting the ground.
Yeah.
So everyone in town was seeing this thing, or at least knew somebody who was seeing this thing. People start running towards the woods to see what the object was, and a lot of them even said that they knew the moment this thing officially landed because they all felt a big vibrational thump on the ground.
A sonic boom, perhaps.
Sonic boom from inside the Earth's crust. Some of the people were able to actually describe what crashed into the ground, and I say only some people. Bear with me. So, okay, everyone hears this thing, they feel the boom, they run towards it, and the first group of people who get there are able to describe what they see. And they call it basically this giant metallic acorn.
Whoa.
With that's got some sort of symbols on it. A lot of websites were calling it hieroglyphics. That felt a little yucky, but I'm just going to go with symbols and as the phrase. Apparently the acorn had no seams on it, which we've heard a lot about with spacecrafts. It had no wings. It had no there was nothing on it that made you think this thing should be able to fly. And it was glowing so brightly that it looked like someone was welding.
Weird.
Like a bright blue electric lightning.
And they're glowing, and then you think
glow.
like, oh, the metal's like this like liquidy metal that doesn't need seams, and it's like, ooh, what kind of alchemy?
You know what? That's exactly what they said. What kind of alchemy is going on here? There was a volunteer fireman that night named James, and
He's like, I'm so glad I volunteered to be a fireman. This is so kick-ass.
It's like, of all the things that could have happened in Kecksburg, Pennsylvania in
Literally.
1965, this is
I've
the
never thought
moment.
I want to be a volunteer fireman. I know that probably comes as a shock to everyone, but I will say this is the first time I've ever thought, maybe that is for me.
Certainly, the second that someone else voluntarily gets a position where they get to see something cool, I'm like, well, now that must be
Well, I think
my
I would
entire
have do
thing.
that too.
Well, so James, he volunteered that night, and I think I feel like I got conflicting stuff, but mainly what I was hearing is that he volunteered that night, and he was responding to what he thought was multiple reports of somebody saying that like a plane had crashed in the sky.
Oh shit. Yeah, that's
Because
scary.
nobody knew what it was. They just saw something flying out of the sky covered in
And
flames, and
it's
now it's
metal, and
crashing.
you're
And
like, oh, it's some sort of aircraft. Yeah.
yeah. So a lot of people, maybe people thought it was a UFO, but enough people thought that it was just a plane crash, and now the fire department has to come save people. So
Mm-hmm.
that was kind of the way that it was first introduced to him. But this is a quote that he was able to give about what he saw. He's one of the
Okay.
first people who was there. This is a long one, but worth it. The object looked exactly like a fresh acorn that you would pick off of a tree. There were no wings, there were no motors, there were no propellers. There was no identification whatsoever that could identify it as an aircraft that I would know. There was a bumper on the bottom part of it, and on the bumper there is what I call, it looked to me like ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics.
Mm-hmm.
It had markings like stars, shapes, figures, and circles and lines, and what it was, I don't know. To this day, I've never seen anything like it. So we're all standing around this thing, wondering what the heck it could be, and finally, here come two men down through the woods. And they took one look at the object and immediately told us to leave. We're in charge. We're taking
Were they
command.
men in black?
You know, certainly
Perchance?
in the black of night.
Yeah.
Hold that thought also.
Okay.
We are in charge. We're taking command. Get out of here, is what they said.
Oh my god.
So we left there, and by the time we got back down here to the fire hall, this place was wall to wall military.
Also, like, wow, they must have had some gravitas to just walk in and go, we're in charge, get out. And everyone's like, okay, bye.
Yeah, truly.
You know, like you'd think someone would go, hey, well, who are you? You know, but it's like, whoa, no, apparently they're in charge.
So I did see one source say that after all the military was there, and then after all the military left, there were people kind of still snooping around trying to see if they could.
That would be me again.
Yeah. I don't know if they really found anything, but I would absolutely do that. I'd be like, you better restrain me if you don't want me to know about this.
I would take your hoverboard backpack and fly over there, just like a little drone, just to take a few pictures.
You know what? That was perfect timing for him to send something like that.
Seriously, he's like feeling the UFO vibes.
In case you ever need to Iron Man through the sky and find a UFO.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden you're the UFO. You know what I mean?
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I just pulled up a picture of it just because I'm like,
yeah,
it's wild.
It literally looks like an acorn.
Literally, but like not a metal one. It looks like yellow, or is that just what they?
Does it look like it's a recent picture?
Yeah.
Okay,
is this like a monument or something? Okay, gotcha.
And also remember it was like apparently huge. Like huge,
right.
Huge.
The shape of it is wild though. Yeah, you're right. It literally looks like an acorn.
Some were also calling it like a bell-shaped craft, and everyone was like, "It's an acorn."
It's literally an acorn. I mean, and the bigger part is on the bottom. So
yeah.
like, yeah.
Like an upside right side up acorn.
It's sort of an upside down acorn because usually they hang from the top.
I was gonna say what makes it upside down, but I guess you're right.
They hang from the stem, so it's sort of like where the stem would be is the other side.
Right, but I would almost assume that's right side up because it's like its little tushy is sitting on the ground. Listeners, weigh in.
Wouldn't that be its head?
I don't know. Listeners, which one's the head and which one's the tushy on an acorn?
We're not scientists, okay? Sheesh.
Anyway, what a lot of people said is even more jarring than the actual UFO incident or seeing something fall out of the fucking sky and fire. What was more jarring to a lot of people was just how quickly the military appeared.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, that's
eerie how fast they showed up.
Well, you got Canada reporting sightings. You got Ohio, Indiana, Ohio. So it's probably been crashing for a while, or slowly descending on fire for a while. So I guess they probably had like a couple hours to get people. Yeah, I don't know, a couple hours, maybe not. I don't know.
And I wonder how many phone calls until the military shows up in like 10 minutes or less, because
like what's the secret line where it's like there's no questions, just be at these coordinates, you know?
It's like, hey, actually this is getting out of sorts.
And how do they even track it with, I guess that's just crazy.
Especially if it's a UFO and like not our technology. So how would they be able to
Yeah,
find it
maybe
so
they've got
quickly?
eyes on it, like radar on it or something.
Well, hold that thought. God damn it, Christine.
What can I say?
You should. I really think like if there was such a thing as like ghost hunters, but like for
Oh, I thought you
aliens
were gonna say like, but
or
for never mind.
UFOs.
I don't know what I thought you were gonna say.
Well, I
But for
think
geniuses, that's what I thought you were gonna say.
right. I think
Yeah.
you should be like an active UFO investigator because the way
I
that
would
you're just
love to
whipping
be.
this shit out is crazy.
Listen, it's just like it makes sense to me. You know, I'm like,
Ugh,
I get it.
it's just a gift. God gave it to me. There's
That's
nothing
what I'm
I can do
saying.
about it.
Yeah.
I'm a victim here.
I'm just a Pleiadian.
So yeah, the military showed up really quickly. Within an hour, local police, state police, and the U.S. Army were in Kecksburg, roping off the woods and setting up roadblocks. Reporters tried asking officials what was going on because, of course, if everyone's there, the reporters are there too. Um, and actually, one reporter, I forget his name, I think it was John Murphy. Um, he claims that he was one of the first people to be on the scene before the military got there, and he was able to get pictures of this thing, and then they were later confiscated.
Of course they were. Ugh.
But he did later end up it inspired him to like make his own radio docudrama about
Cool.
I think it was fuck, I forget what it was called. Um but he ends up doing like a whole series where it was inspired by these events. Um Okay, so yeah, the local police, state police, US Army all show up. They're like sealing off the area. Reporters are trying to ask the officials what's going on. They're left with only more questions. Authorities say that military engineers and scientists were on the way, which like the fact that
Ooh.
authorities are saying that to the public is crazy.
Yep.
Um some locals actually claim that they were told the area was only sealed off just in case of radioactivity, which does
Mm.
admit that something odd's going on. Like, if you're going to say something radioactive might be here, you're telling the
Mm-hmm.
public that something is
Yeah.
going
Although
on.
you could pitch it as like this is a foreign invasion type
Sure.
thing or like a terrorism type angle.
Sure.
Not that
Sure.
that's like less scary, right? But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is that some people were told to back off because it might be radioactive, and I would
It
immediately
would
be
work
like,
though. It would work though. We'd all be like, "Oh
sure.
fuck. I don't care what it is. Get me away."
Uh,
A
other people,
radioactive acorn. I mean, really.
others claim that the military and then men in trench coats
Mm-hmm.
essentially told them nothing to see here and then told them that they needed to leave, which is kind of what this firefighter said.
Yep.
But if you're telling everybody, if as you're sealing off the area, something radioactive might be here, military engineers and scientists are on the way. And then also another group of people are like nothing to see here. It's like what you
Yeah,
can't
immediate, gigantic, blaring siren red flags. Like,
right. Especially for
okay.
this one kid named John Hayes, because John Hayes, he happened to live in a farmhouse with his family, which overlooked the woods pretty perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And the military somehow fucking knew this.
Of
I don't know
course.
how. I don't know if they had maybe just a general map of the area or what.
Yeah.
But he remembers and his parents remember someone knocking on the door and it's the military. And
Don't
they
answer
said,
the door ever. I'm telling you, it's never a good thing.
the military, they moved into their house for the night and used it as their home base while they started
What?
an investigation into
Isn't that
this.
literally in the fucking Constitution?
Pretty sure.
You
Isn't
know
that
that
the
you
Fourth
can that the
Amendment?
army, yeah, right? Like that the army can just fucking move in. And I remember in 5th grade learning that and going, "Hey, does anybody else find that a little problematic?" And everyone's like, "I'd give my house to the army." And I was like, "Congratulations. I
Yeah,
hope a
well,
fucking flying acorn lands in your backyard then."
John Hayes' family said that. I wonder,
Oof.
honestly, if it was an alien investigation, I think I'd be too fucking nosy. I'd be like, move in quick.
Oh yeah, if they were
Bring all the
just not
telescopes.
investigating me and investigating the flaming acorn, I'd probably be like, "I'll just sit over here while you do your work, gentlemen."
However, we are now outwardly, publicly admitting that if anyone ever wants to investigate us, they just have to knock on the door and say that we think there was an alien. Can we come in?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if they hadn't picked up on that by now, their sources aren't that good. So yeah.
Well, it worked for John Hayes' family. I don't know if they wanted them there, but they seem to be fine with it. Basically, they just all moved in. And remember, wall-to-wall military. So this is actually a quote from John. I think he was like 10 when this happened.
Yes.
He said, the first thing they did was tell my parents to send the first thing they did was tell my parents to send us kids to bed. Well, naturally, I was
First
excited.
of all, I'd be like, "Fuck you! You don't get to tell my kids to go to bed." And they'd be like, they'd move out in 5 seconds. They'd be like, "This is not the. We're gonna
I
put a
think
tent outside."
the military would move in and then move out when I asked too many questions. I go,
Exactly.
what are you doing? What are you doing?
You'd be like, "Can I offer you lemonade?" And they're like, "No." Again, No.
John says, well, naturally, I was excited by all the goings on, and our bathroom
Mhm.
was downstairs, so I made quite a few trips to the bathroom
You're,
that
like,
night.
brushing your teeth really slowly.
One stroke at a time. There were a lot of men in uniforms, and there were some men in suits, and it was clear that the men in suits were in charge of everything.
Mhm.
They were over the top. They were over top of the military, and they had a lot of clout. I couldn't see down into the hollow where they were at, but I did see 6 guys in radiation suits
Ah!
take a box down there, and I didn't see them bring it
Bzz,
out.
bzz, bzz, bzz. Yeah, chesting fur. Oh my god, that's so freaky.
His mom, I think it was his mom. Um, yeah, yes, I think his mom. She was quoted saying the military was coming in and out of the house all evening, and they were making a lot of phone calls, and they were on their phone, and they were standing around in groups talking. I have no idea who they telephoned, but no calls turned up on my bill.
God, you Oh! That's so gross. Why is it so freaky? That they preemptively, like, canceled all the calls, or they have some, like, thing to turn off the billing?
Yeah.
Ew!
And also, it sounds like it's that easy to just not charge people.
Seriously! Also, what is the code? I'm just asking for a friend. Just kidding, as if anyone has a landline. But still, fascinating. And also, the fact that oh, don't you wish at that point that you'd gotten the bonus landline phone for upstairs and you're like, I just want to pick it off the receiver and listen?
My dream is that they forgot to like pull one of the landlines out of the
Mhm,
wall, and
mhm.
that we just still get free calls for the rest of
Oh,
the
that's
time.
good. Yeah, just be like, there's one thing before you leave. Yeah.
You
Mhm.
can use our house whenever you want for alien investigations, but we get free phone calls for the rest of our lives.
It just like their number is now just like CIA. There's just yeah.
Well, so John also was later quoted saying, "I know I'll probably never get a straight answer, but I know they went down in to the hollow where they saw this thing. They went down in with an empty truck, and they came out with something on the back of it."
Was it a giant acorn?
Well, in fact, many people ended up reporting seeing the military leaving town with a flatbed truck carrying something the size of a car under a tarp. The investigation or military search, or whatever you want to call it, was over by 1 a.m., so they were only there for 5 hours.
Whoa, they are speedy.
And by the next day, the newspapers were obviously calling this a UFO crash landing.
Obviously, because it is.
Duh. I mean, even the reporters were fucking there being like, this is
Accurate.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's actually unknown for sure what would have happened once the UFO was taken, like where it would have gone next. But one former Air Force member came out saying that he knows the UFO was taken from that area to Lockbourne Air Force Base and then to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. And
That's
he
by
knows,
me. That's where my
well,
mommy worked.
he knows that because he claims he was the one responsible for guarding it while it was at one of the bases.
Sometimes
Who
I'm like,
knows,
Mom,
but
look around. And she's like, okay. And I'm like, look for alien clues.
she's probably made it this far by knowing to keep her eyes shut. She's like,
Fair enough. Being on a green card for so many years, I think, probably gave her a little bit of that hypervigilance. Yeah.
I know nothing.
Yeah. Nothing.
As for what this thing could have been, if it existed at all, some think it could have been a test rocket, but both the Coast Guard and the Air Force say that they didn't launch any rockets. Which
And
I
it's
love.
what, radioactive for fun?
Right, right. So the Army, the Air Force, and the Coast Guard have all been involved in this at this point, which is wild.
They're all
Um,
blaming each other. Like, no, it's just the Coast Guard. No, it's just the Navy. Like, okay.
but you're right. Like, interesting that they said it was radioactive. Now they're saying, well, maybe it was our own test rocket, but then someone else is saying, no, it wasn't a test rocket at all.
Mm-hmm.
Soil analysis did suggest that something odd was going on over there, but it was nothing crash site worthy. Like it was nothing that
What
people would.
about like the burn marks and stuff in the other places?
It was
That just
nothing.
looked like a normal burn mark or
I
something?
guess so. It was nothing to like write home about. I guess.
Okay.
Trajectory analysis of this thing flying in the sky suggests that nothing that was on our radars could have crashed here. Anything that was in the
Oh.
sky that night, even if it crash landed, it couldn't have landed in Kecksburg, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. Okay, like physics wise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Others think that this could have been some sort of re-entry vehicle into our atmosphere.
Mm.
Because those happen to be this. I'm taking it. I'm not saying the direct quote, but what I got out of the quote is that it might have been this exact type of re-entry vehicle because those happen to be nuclear. So if it did crash land, it would explain why the military moved
Oh.
so fast to get it out of a town.
Okay, fair enough.
And also it might have been radioactive. It could have exploded. We don't know.
Mhm.
So that's a good guess, is like
Yeah.
maybe it was something that we know could hurt everybody. But also, if it was one of our reentry vehicles, and that's something that would have been on our radars, and we just determined that nothing on our radars would have crash landed.
Right.
Um,
Hmm.
a lot of people thought that it could have been a Russian probe called the Cosmos 96. Because that day, I know,
Sounds
I
so, like, futuristic for the time.
for 65, yeah, for
For
1965,
65.
the Cosmos 96.
It's
Wow.
like the Cosmo 3000, you know?
Yeah. One day when the year 3000 hits, all of our stuff is not going to be cool anymore.
Oh, it's so sad.
I wonder what the cool year in the year 3000 will be. It's got to be 10,000 at that point. Make it
It's
five
gotta be
digits.
5 at least. Yeah, 5 or 10.
Well, so a lot of people thought it might be this Russian probe, the Cosmos 96, because that actually is a satellite that re-entered the atmosphere that day.
Okay.
However, it re-entered at 3 in the morning, not 5 at night.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Plus, there's no way, as it was re-entering our atmosphere, it would not have landed in Pennsylvania. Um,
Yeah, that's the part that I'm kinda caught up by. Caught forget it.
okay.
Forget it. Forget it.
Okay, so they determined, hey, it's not this Russian satellite. However, for some reason, this part I'm very confused on how this came to be.
Mm.
Um, NASA later then tried to push that it actually was a Russian satellite, even though they already proved that that's not true.
Mhm.
Um, and then they also said, they said later, well, there's more information about it that we haven't told anybody, but the documents have been misplaced. So
Mhm.
how convenient. So
Oh, yeah,
after,
we're NASA. We messed up and lost all the paperwork. Okay, sure. I believe that.
I
That
feel like
feels like you sent someone to the moon.
NASA should at least have a one pager with bullets on like every day,
Mhm.
of the calendar year, and it just says yes or no if there was a fucking UFO that day. Just
Right.
because then, and then just save that
Well,
somewhere
it'll say
separately
no
from the
every day,
documents.
right? Because,
Oh,
like,
right,
that's
right,
just what
right.
they have to say. So they should remind themselves, you're supposed to say no.
You'd think someone has the cliff notes of like, oh yeah, that was a bad day. This was a good day.
Oops.
So anyway, after lawsuits to NASA, to release the actual documents and conduct a research on the missing ones,
Mm.
they ended up providing new information. But according to one investigator named Leslie Keene, there was no smoking gun. So even though they gave us more information, they really didn't give us more information.
Hey, that sounds familiar.
What do you mean? What do
I
you
don't know.
mean?
What do I mean?
Like, it's almost as if before
Hmm.
today, other people have told government organizations to release the files.
Could
And then they
be.
said, well, it's real, but then it's not, but then it's real, but then it's not, but then it's missing. Oh, and now we can't find it. Actually, we don't know what's going on.
NASA says no.
uh, anyway, yes, so release the files. That's the main moral of this
And I'm
story.
talking the Kecksburg files, okay, people?
uh, so they ended up, giving more information, but the only new information they really gave was that they confirmed that NASA did, quote, play a role in the recovery and examination of space object debris.
Uh-huh.
So it
Interesting.
does confirm that they collected something while they were there, but it doesn't say what to any real degree.
But it's from space.
But it's from space. This whole lawsuit debacle, this is like, I'm really, just to save time, not even getting into the drama of this, but it's very interesting. This whole lawsuit debacle was sponsored by the Siffy Network.
I thought you were gonna say, like, sponsored by Crest, and I was like,
Sponsored by,
whoa.
and that's why we drink promo code drink.
I wish.
So one of the reasons a lot of people don't believe like the files ended up saying, oh, NASA picked up space debris, they're like, oh, this might have been a publicity stunt.
Like,
But
Sci-Fi Network was like, we want to make this as interesting as possible, sort of.
maybe
Wait, but what year was this? That this was
2000, from 2000, so in 2003 the Siffy Network
Oh.
came out with one of the documentaries I was trying to watch and didn't get enough time to do. It's called The New Roswell, Kecksburg Exposed. And
Okay.
while doing, I think during that time, they had an investigator working with them named Leslie Keene,
Mm-hmm.
and she was trying to get more information, and she basically ended up using like the freedom of
FOIA?
FOIA?
I don't know. Freedom of Information Act?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, "What?" Yes.
Foyer?
Good job, Christine.
Oh, thanks.
They were trying to use that to help in their lawsuit to get more of the documents released, and I guess,
Right.
Sci-Fi the network decided that they were going to help pay for, I think, the lawyers or
Oh, so
something?
this was, like, later. I thought this was, like, back in the '60s. I'm like, "They had the
Mm-mm.
Sci-Fi Network back then?" Okay,
No, so I
so
think this all came out when Sci-Fi was trying to come out with a
gotcha.
documentary, and then they were trying to get more information, um,
Gotcha.
at least around the time. I think the documentary had already come out, and they were still, like, just in the middle of this, hullabaloo of trying to get more information in case they wanted to, I don't know, make another one. I'm a little confused about the timeline here, but I know that
Right.
from 2003 to 2007 is when all this went down.
Okay. Also, I wanna say Leslie Kean, I knew she was familiar. She wrote the book Surviving Death, which I
Hmm.
have read. It's really interesting, but she's not an investigator, she's a journalist. Like, she's not a police investigator or anything like that.
No,
She's like
but
a
she is called in a lot of sources an investigative
investigative journalist.
reporter.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Reporter.
Okay, cool.
Um, Thank you. So,
Yeah, 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 no, just confirming.
but anyway, it was Leslie Kean and the SIFI network versus NASA, I guess.
Yeah, good luck.
And they ended up getting information, but who knows if it was all the information or just some of the
Or
information,
they
and
just, like, did something to appease them and, yeah,
right.
cobbled something together.
And then even if they gave them anything that was helpful, people still said, well, this could be a publicity stunt for Sci-Fi
Exactly,
and
exactly.
Leslie Kean. Anyway, all that to say, most people think that this was a natural experience, aka it was a meteor. Um,
Okay, okay.
which would explain the small fires that broke apart and
Yeah.
slowly fell onto the ground. Others say that it couldn't be a meteor because meteors, as you mentioned, don't move the way that this thing was moving in the sky. It was
Just, like, took a
slowing,
left turn out of Canada? Yeah, I
took a left
guess,
turn
not
out of
really.
Canada, slowing down as it fell. Some people were saying it was gliding in the air.
Right
And
side, butt side up,
right
butt
side,
side
butt side
down.
up. And despite all this, uh, the arguments against this, a lot of skeptics, including the Pentagon and Project Blue Book themselves, they
The
deem it a
skeptics,
meteor.
including the Pentagon, yeah.
You have to hope they're skeptics. I don't
You'd have
know.
to hope someone yeah, if anyone.
While it's officially deemed a meteor, many locals and witnesses remain convinced it was a UFO. It's still discussed in the town today. Apparently, I like to imagine that there's somebody with like a Bumble profile in that area who's like, "You tell me what you think happened at Kecksburg." Like,
Yeah, yeah, we'll get along if dot dot
yeah,
dot. I haven't been on a dating app in 2 decades or something, but yeah, you will get along if you think Kecksburg was
something like that. Yeah.
radioactive alien material.
Well, like many locals, there's one UFO researcher named Stan Gordon, and he is very hesitant to believe what the government has to say about it. This is a long quote, but a good quote to end on of what Stan thinks happened here.
Tell me what Stan thinks.
Within several miles of the crash site, multiple witnesses tell us that this object was coming in at a very, very slow speed of descent. Meteors do not make controlled turns, they do not come in at a slow speed like this, and they in fact do not glide in, which this thing apparently did. There is no entry at all for the day. There is no entry at all for that day in the December log of all activities for the radar squadron. That tells us somebody apparently wanted to keep all the information associated with this involvement in that site away from public information.
See?
The report indicated that there was quite a lot of interest by government agencies as to what the object might have been. There were memos there and requests for information from Houston Space Center, from NORAD, from the Air Force Command Post, the Pentagon, even the chairman of the Office of Emergency Planning requested information.
See, and then they're like, "It's just a rock."
And then Stan says, either we're dealing with some highly advanced space probe or the possibility exists that we may indeed be dealing with an extraterrestrial spacecraft. So even he's like, come on, if you all want this so bad, you obviously.
Seriously.
So, New Year's Eve 1990, Unsolved Mysteries puts out an episode on
Oh,
this.
yes.
This event is what garnered this case to have UFO real fame outside of the town. And for the episode, Unsolved Mysteries actually built a life-size replica of the acorn-shaped UFO,
Okay,
and
okay.
they use it in the show for the
Oh,
re-dramatization, but when they were done with filming, they gifted it to the
that
town.
is so fun.
And so you can go see what is now called the Space Acorn.
Ah!
And there's also a UFO store in Kecksburg for tourists. So, um,
Well, that's about 4 hours from me, so let's get started on that drive.
well, you could figure out a plan to go in the summer because every summer the fire department, the volunteer fire department, puts out an annual UFO festival.
I love that the fire department's like, even we understand that this
It's like
is
we were the
not.
first ones there and we're going to keep
Seriously,
this.
we saw what we saw.
Apparently there's a parade, there's a fireworks show, they hold a conference with UFO speakers.
Wow.
And so that was all I could get on Kecksburg Incident. But if you would like to watch some of the documentaries or watch some of the things that I either got to watch or will be watching, there's Unsolved Mysteries. I think it was season 3, episode 1. Then there's the Siffy documentary, the new Roswell Kecksburg Exposed. Then there's a documentary called Kecksburg: The Untold Story, Secrets of UFOs, America's Other Roswell, and then Discovery Channel and History Channel both have their own series too. There's UFO Hunters, Ancient Aliens, and Nazi UFO Conspiracy.
Cool.
Because one of the theories is that this thing might have actually been one of the Nazi UFOs called the Bell or Die Glock. Die Glock?
Die Glocke.
Yeah.
Here. I got something for you.
We started at Nazi UFO Conspiracy. What are you going to say?
I was going to sing you a song, but I think maybe I'm not going to do that anymore. I was going to sing you a nice Christmas song about bells, because that means the bell, yeah. And so I was like, oh, I have songs about Christmas bells. And then I was like,
well, you have to now.
Well, I don't know anymore how it goes.
Oh, that's magic. That's very convenient,
I just accidentally forgot about how it goes. Do you want me to sing in Flemish, though? Because I could do that again.
I've heard too much of that from you, the Flemish song. I still have somewhere there's like video of you doing that, isn't there?
Ay, Marieke. Yes, there is.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well done. You sang the whole thing. It was like a 6-minute song or something.
It was not correct either, I'm sure.
Oh.
I'm sure it just sounded... I mean, listen, it was my attempt at it, but I'm sure it sounded like gibberish.
I wouldn't know. It sounded great.
Thank you so much.
Well, anyway, that's another topic I'll be covering at some point. Say it again. Die Glocke?
Die Glocke. Yeah, it's hard because it has an umlaut.
But apparently that is a whole Nazi something UFO where apparently it has to do with time travel. Which,
seriously?
like, the irony, because couldn't we use that and go back and get rid of the Nazis? Anyway.
Oh, I see. Maybe it's Die Glocke? Glocke? I thought Glocke meant... Now I just want to make sure I'm not, like, butchering my own native tongue.
All I know is in the US of A, baby, that's called the bell.
Okay,
so
well, maybe
I'll be covering that at some point. Anyway, a lot of people thought that might be what this was.
My computer's like, I know you're trying to talk about UFOs. And I'm like, just tell me how to say bell in German.
Anyway, that is the Kecksburg Incident.
It is Glocke. Sorry, die Glocke, not Glocke. I don't know what I was saying.
I feel like when I do cover it, I'll just have to, like, bleep out my mouth and you just say die Glocke every time I have to say it.
That was good. That you literally said it more correctly than I said it the first time, because I thought Glöckchen, that's why I was saying it. Glöckchen is like the diminutive of like the, like, you know when you say, like, you know when you add like a little twist to the end of a word to make it like kind of cutesy? Like Glöckchen. Like people call me, like my dad would always call me Christinchen. Like it. Yeah. So Glöckchen. So you add, anyway, that's why I said it like that.
It's like, is it like in Spanish when you put ito at the end of something?
Yes, that was what I was trying to think of. The Spanish ito. Yes, exactly. Nice. That's my attempt to walk myself out of saying a very obvious German word incorrectly. So
again, I wouldn't know. So if I'm the only one currently here, and I would have been impressed either way.
I appreciate that always and forever. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway,
what
there you have
the fuck, dude? Okay, so I have a question because I can't stop thinking about these hieroglyphic symbols on the side. Is this something that anybody has recreated? Like, is this something where they're like, oh, I remember what some of them looked like, you know?
Not what I saw. I just kind of saw, I read the description about just having like stars and circles and lines, which doesn't sound like hieroglyphics to me. That just sounds like fucking shapes. But
I guess, but like, look at the recreation of it has all these symbols on it, and I wonder if they made those up or if it was like an attempt to like copy a certain.
Yeah, I don't know,
because they do have these like really wild looking symbols on it. And I'm like, I don't know where they came up with that if they don't know what it actually looked like, you know?
I bet it was in that one fucking documentary I didn't have time to look at.
Okay, fair enough. I should not put you on the spot. I just can't get over it. I mean, what do you think? Do you have an opinion? Because I do.
I mean, I think it was something fucking weird for every, it seems, space themed organization in our government to be curious about it and then magically have
Yeah.
files that they can't release or have been misplaced. And then they're also telling people nothing to see here. And I mean,
Like, don't be
it's certainly,
ridiculous.
certainly, actually,
Let me use your landline real quick to call the government, to call the president. Okay.
yeah. And also, how cool is that to know that your phone might have called the president?
Yeah, but you can't prove it because they didn't bill you for it.
Yeah, you know what? That's exactly right.
I'm sending you
I
this picture because look at these creepy symbols on it.
I do think I think it was like the little kid John Hayes or something. He did say if there was nothing, if it was nothing, why didn't you just like let everyone see what it was?
Seriously, if it's just a big rock and then it's not radioactive,
Like if it was a meteor, like wouldn't the like you have had the local press come out and take pictures of like a meteor shower and like we
I
all
would,
got to like take a picture with a fucking meteor?
especially if you're the government and you're so relieved it's not a crashed alien and you're like,
Right.
shit, thank God we don't have to cover this up, you know?
Oh wow, these are very
Isn't that
interesting.
weird? They're like so detailed, these symbols.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. But I really got to hand it to Unsolved Mysteries to let them have the
Well, what else are
acorn.
they going to do with it? Fucking fly it to LA on
Well,
fire?
part of me wonders like what is it made of? Because if it was made in the 90s for like an episode of something, it might just be styrofoam. And I'm so impressed with how
No,
it's
I
like
was
stayed
about
together.
to say it's guaranteed something like that, like
They must have like
asbestos maybe.
spackled over it just to keep it
Right? Just like
intact
spray
or
it with a
something.
bunch of like whatever Gina put all over my dead bugs. Oh, poor
Ugh.
Gina. I'm like looking at pictures. I mean, it's really, and if you look at it sideways, somebody
Mhm.
made like a drawing of it sideways. It does look like a saucer, like almost like a UFO saucer when it's sideways because it's like the
Mm.
bump with the, it looks sort of that shape.
Yeah. It looks
It's
like
so
the
weird.
part of it's like a little too tall and one part's not wide enough, but it looks like a
Yes.
squished in some way UFO.
Yeah. And nobody's telling me about the symbols, which is just gonna drive me nuts. But
Join the
um,
club.
I know, right? Maybe I'll watch Stiffy. Oh, by the way, we say that if you're new here,
Oh
first of
yeah.
all, wow, you've
It
been through an episode today. But second of all, you can explain him.
it's the Sci-Fi Network, but my dad always called it Siffy, so it's now lovingly called Siffy over here.
Yeah. From day one, and was like, oh, I don't want to correct him.
I didn't have the heart, or
I just don't have
maybe
the
he
heart.
knew and he just played it off so confidently that now I'm the confused one.
I think probably that's not the case.
I don't know which one it is,
I
but I
would say
don't want to find out at this point.
most grown adult men who pronounce siffy, whatever. I don't know. Listen, I'm no scientist. You
I
know
don't
that.
know. I know nothing. I know nothing.
So it was metallic though, right? And you said it had no seams, but then they made the recreation out of like what literally looks
Like clay.
like
Yeah.
foam or clay. It's weird.
Yeah, I do wonder how much of that is just like back in the day a pixelated camera in the 90s wouldn't have even clocked half that detail maybe. Or maybe
Sure.
if we're serious about maybe it's now weatherproofed, maybe this is a new coating of something else.
They're like, let's paint it yellow.
Yeah. No, they did say it was like a metallic gold acorn.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well, so then actually in some lighting, I think it might be then you're probably right that they just use certain like camera or lighting because like look at this picture and this is like kind of a
oh yeah.
saturated, but it looks like shiny gold almost, which
Yeah, it
it's
looks like a brushed bronze or something.
yes, that's right. Brushed bronze, my least favorite of the sink finishes.
Interesting. I
It
don't know
is
what's the
because it.
one where it's the brushed and it's like kind of black but also metal? I hate that one.
I thought that was brushed
Is that?
bronze,
I don't
maybe.
like it. I
I
don't
don't
like it.
either. Brushed copper, perhaps.
I like copper.
I just don't like don't pretend that it's old or something. It's just so weird
Uh-huh.
to me. I'm like, come on. Like I was so excited when I moved into my house and some stuff here is so old. It's like a house from 1860s and then like 99% of it is just junk from home goods that was like glued to the wall to look old-timey. And I'm like, "Ugh, come on.
Well, that's what I can't stand. I really can't stand the farmhouse look, which is why like this
The
kind of
rustic boho chic
well, it's
thing."
like it's obviously not a farm, babe.
It's really annoying. I find it annoying. I'm like, if you're gonna go antique, like don't fake it. I don't know. You
Yeah.
can find actual old shit for really cheap. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like the like for example, in my bathroom, there's like this like toilet paper holder, and it's like this bronze plaque, and it says like paper company 1860 something, and I was like, that's so cool. Like I wonder if this is a thing, and I Google it, and it's like immediately on Lowe's or Wayfair, and I'm like, okay,
Well,
so it's just some junky thing.
there's only Sorry, a motorcycle decided to go at lightning speed. The one thing that I don't care if it's tacky, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. Even though it's fake, I don't care. It just does something to a room to me. I fucking love an exposed beam.
Oh, I love an exposed beam.
I don't
But
even
you
care if
can't
it's a
even really
fake beam.
fake that. Well, okay, yeah, you can.
They do some pretty incredible fake beams these days.
Yeah, but see, I feel like that's at least like an aesthetic choice rather than like I'm pretending like this is an antique,
Yeah, I'm
from a time. I mean, and
Sure.
again, like as if I have any, like my room is literally has dirty Cheez-Its all over the floor. I'm not saying I have any better taste than anyone. I
am. Exposed beams are incredible, and everything else can go.
You know what I love is an exposed brick.
Oh, don't even fucking start with me on an exposed brick. Oh, don't even.
That
But
was the thing.
You know what I don't miss though, or miss? I've never had exposed brick. The one thing I don't ever wish is having to nail something in.
Oh,
or like
I've been
screw
there.
something in.
I purchased these things that you hook onto the brick and they like kind of clasp on. But
Ugh.
they don't work as well as I'd hoped.
I mean, I guess like it's just you just gotta get some masonry stuff, I guess. But I don't really want to have to.
I'm not
gonna.
Yeah, no. I've tried to put stuff in the brick and it did not go well. So
I've had to drill into concrete and it is not fun. Not fun.
So
I agree. I think you're right to not want to touch that.
Thank you.
Christine, now that it's 2026, she's on the way. I want to have like a signature little smell. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I've always wanted that.
The idea of getting a scent is so stressful because it can be really
Yes.
expensive for a whole bottle. And what if you hate
Yes.
it? And it's not worth it half the time.
I know, and then you don't really know, and if you wear it a couple days and you're like, "Yeah, I'm over it," it's like, "Oh, good, I have $140 of it left." No,
Yeah.
we've been there. That's why we're so excited to talk about micro perfumes. Oh my gosh, I went. Okay, let me tell you about it first. For just a few bucks, you can test drive the real deal. They have Dior, Tom Ford, Creed. For example, I got this Lancome perfume that I had smelled actually on someone when I was in Egypt, and they were like, "Oh, it's this perfume," and I was like, "What? I'm not gonna go buy that. It's so expensive." But then I ordered like a little vial to try it on myself. And now I'm like considering that as my little scent du jour, if you will.
Oh.
Yeah.
Micro perfumes lets you sample luxury fragrances in pocket-sized vials, and you get high-end experience. So you can smell as classy and swanky as you want, and you don't have to even worry about the price.
So why commit blind to a $200 bottle? Find your scent soulmate today and get up to 60% off at microperfumes.com/drink.
That's microperfumes.com/drink for up to 60% off. Micro perfumes, real scents, no regrets.
Hello, everyone. We're back. This is one of my favorite stories, and weirdly enough, doesn't contain a murder.
Oh, thank God.
I know.
Wow, finally some banter in this place.
Happy Thanksgiving. This is a good one for banter, okay? This is the story of Lawrence Joseph Bader, and I hadn't heard of this story, and it's one of those where I thought, well, surely I've heard of every, like, completely insane mystery case, you know, but no, this one I've never heard of. I hope I'm not the only one, because it felt, like, totally obscure to me, but I listened to an episode of, by the way, trying to redeem myself again, Stuff You Should Know, not Things You Should Know, which is what I called the podcast last time. Really embarrassing. Everybody corrected me and said, they did not say you owe them an apology, but I felt that I owed them an apology.
Sure.
So Stuff You Should Know did a really good episode. I also watched episode of Scary Interesting on YouTube, and then read some very colorful journalism from the 60s about this.
Colorful journalism tells me that, did they say a bad word or something in there?
You know, it's just like when they say things about like people
Like
and you're
racist
like,
things?
not racist, but like, I don't know that that's relevant. I don't know that like
I
how she looks or how he
Yes.
It just feels like what
Like
do you
how
do?
all of our parents would just randomly like overly describe people where it's
And
not
you're
we
like,
did.
oh my God, have you seen those TikTok? Of course you have, but they're like my mom talking about anyone I went to high school with, like, you know, the one with the huge nose. And it's like,
Yeah.
why? Like, you can just say their name. You don't need to like give them a derogatory description.
Why are we describing them in all the ways they'd be so embarrassed by?
Exactly. Like, why are we describing them by their
Who's the
insecurities?
one covered in moles? It's like, what? Why
you know,
are
that
we doing
freckly girl. It's like, what the fuck?
You couldn't say the one with the lovely eyes? Like,
Exactly. Or like the
Anyway.
beautiful freckles, you know? No.
Yeah.
No. They couldn't be that. So
Oh.
Lawrence Joseph Bader. He was born in Akron, Ohio. This is, of course, an Ohio story. In 1926, and he came from a pretty well-to-do family. One of his uncles was an Akron city councilman, and so he grew up like not really wanting for anything. He did a stint in the Navy and then did like a semester at college, but neither of these felt fulfilling enough for him, and he actually became known as the guy who tried many get-rich-quick schemes.
Love that. Love that. Love that. Love
Yeah,
that.
so I was in Stuff You Should Know, they were like they were like, if you're known for your get rich quick schemes one semester into college, like you must be really into them. And the other guy goes, oh, or they could be looking at his suit covered in dollar signs. Like maybe he
Right.
walked around with a dollar sign suit. That's the only other way. It screams get
I
rich quick.
I I'm on board with the first theory that he's either really good or really bad at this.
Yes, exactly. It's like
Yeah.
that. It just feels like maybe not the best descriptor of a you'd want to get.
Right.
But you know, that was just his vibe. He was like, I can get money from my dad. I don't really need to spend time in college, and I'd rather just find an easy way to make this work. Neither of these plans really worked out, and he eventually became a cookware salesman for the Reynolds Metals Company. He made a pretty good salary. I think in today's money, it's like $120K a year.
Dang.
I know. And he married a woman named Mary Lou, and by 1957, they had 3 children with a 4th on the way. He was known as a pretty quiet guy, pretty reserved, but he did have some outgoing sensibilities, especially with his friends. He had one party trick where he would eat an entire roast chicken, bones and all.
Oh my fucking god. Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
I am locked in now
Yeah.
because you mentioned the bone. I really just want to watch him eat a skeleton. That's kind of I don't care about the
Okay,
chicken
well,
part.
apparently people do, because I'm like you eating all, you just, are you
But-
also like vamping? Are you like, and watch this, you know? I mean, it's like a whole chicken.
Like the chicken part, I could also eat a whole rotisserie chicken and half.
No, he
but,
just like bites it, like eats it, is what I'm saying. Like he takes the roast chicken with the bones inside it and just will like eat,
so he eats like a fucking wolf.
eat like, yeah, like a dog. Yeah, like a wolf, like eats the whole thing.
I mean, I do what if that were a
Party
YouTube
trick.
video. I mean, also a party trick where you must
could
just
not pay me to watch that.
well, I was thinking like the caloric intake and the way that the bones are gonna rip you from the
Ugh.
inside out.
No, you know, when they get all mushy.
I
This
do need to
makes
see
it
it at least
worse.
once.
I'd
I'd like to go to a party and at least watch 3
So
bites
you're the
in.
problem, is what you're saying, because I
Easily.
really want none of this. I want none of this to exist ever.
I need to see it with my own eyes, and not because I don't believe it, but purely
Because you
just
need to. I get
just
it.
for the visual.
Yeah, I get it. So beside the chicken trick, he was pretty reserved. He had
The chicken.
the chicken.
No, okay, sorry.
He was pretty chill. He had some friends, and he was like kind of a nice guy, but he wasn't anything like any eccentric or boisterous kind of person. He also had a bit of growing financial stress. IRS liens had been placed against him for unpaid taxes. He apparently didn't pay his taxes for like 5 years, and he had recently received notices related to his debt, which was about $2,400, and in today's money is about $24,000. And so it's a significant amount of debt, but not like extreme, you know, like to the
Sure.
point that we've seen some of these big like family annihilator cases and things like that.
Right.
In other words, nothing in his behavior in early March 1957 suggested he planned any extreme action or planned to disappear in any way. And yet, let's go to March 15th, 1957.
Uh-oh.
Larry tells his wife, Mary Lou, that he has an IRS meeting in Cleveland the next morning, and he says, afterwards, I'm going to go fishing at Lake Erie. And she says, please don't. I am pregnant with our 4th child. I would really like you to come home after work. And this guy says, maybe I will, maybe I won't.
Oh. Okay.
Had the same reaction, went, cool, guy.
Okay, well then just don't come
Cool.
home at all. Okay.
Yeah, go fuck yourself, I guess. So maybe I will, maybe I won't. And then he pieces out, and guess what? He will. He goes to the IRS meeting. He gets out several $1,000s in cash, which was the plan. It's not like he did that on a whim. And then he rents a 14-foot aluminum boat and purchases fishing gear, including a life jacket and extra oars. He's getting this boat ready to go into the water. It's in Rocky River near Cleveland. And the clerk says, hey, I don't know if you should be going out. There's going to be a storm coming through. And the clerk said he remembered forever. What Larry said in response, he said, "You never know unless you try."
This guy
Like,
really is all about the risk, isn't he? With
that's
his get rich quick, his eating
yes.
skeletons, he's just like, well, let's find out along the way.
Also, he's like trying to do these witty one-liners, and I'm like, I feel
He's
like that doesn't even make sense.
he's waiting for a slogan to appear.
You know what? He's waiting for it to click.
Hmm.
And I think he should try some more because this one didn't really work. But so he takes the boat to Rocky River, and he launches the boat. He's actually spotted by Coast Guard, and they're like, "Hey, it's gonna be really bad weather. You better get out of here." And he's like, "I'm fine," and just keeps going on his way. Lo and behold, there's a giant storm and high winds, rough waters. Larry never made it back with the boat.
Oh boy. Did
And
he
they
come back with like
send
a bigger boat or something? Feel like
he
that'd be part of his lore.
he comes back with no boat. He does not appear. He doesn't come home, and his wife is of course immediately worried. So the Coast Guard goes out, does a search. Wouldn't you know it, they find a boat washed up near Cleveland's Perkins Beach. In the boat, they find the life jackets, which is interesting because he rented them,
Hmm.
clearly didn't use them, and one oar. And the boat itself didn't appear severely damaged, just like dinged up a little. But Larry and his suitcase, which contained the cash, was missing.
The suitcase is what's interesting because if the suitcase weren't involved, I would have said, this guy clearly thought, what's the big deal? I'm just going to go take a dip real quick and then get back on the boat.
Right,
The
right.
suitcase is interesting.
So the suitcase is interesting. And I also think, well, like, another devil's advocate sort of point has been made, like, well, he probably didn't want to leave it in the car. It had several $1,000s of cash. And I was like, okay, fair. But I feel like,
Hmm.
why would you go? I mean,
Why would you bring it at all?
well, because he was up in Cleveland. And so he's like, oh, I want to go
Oh,
fishing while I'm on the lake.
oh, while he was there, right?
Yeah. So, I guess, but it just feels a little odd that the guy and the suitcase are missing, but everything else appears to be.
My only justification at this point is like maybe he was about to put it somewhere else and it fell off the boat and he went diving for it. And then
Oh, that's interesting.
he just like couldn't get back.
Yeah. So, I mean, they couldn't find him. And so they searched for several days, the Coast Guard did, but they never found a body or any further evidence. So he was declared dead, legally dead. And that was May of 1957. He had left behind a pregnant wife and 3 young children. But within 3 or so days, the timeline varies. A few days of Larry's disappearance, a man calling himself John Johnson walks into the Round Table Bar in Omaha, Nebraska, holding a bartending manual and asking for a job. He claims his name is John Johnson on all his paperwork, leases, and official records, but socially, he introduces himself as Fritz.
Without question, I already know why this is your favorite fucking story because it's so catch me if you can.
Yeah, yes, it is. Okay, I didn't put that together, but you're totally right. Yes, yes. You can't make this shit up. You know what I mean?
You love an identity
I
switch up.
do. I
Yeah.
find it fascinating.
And a successful one. Like a one where you somehow were able to like get paperwork and shit like that
I
handled.
mean, what? Like,
It's fascinating.
it's like those guys at the glowing acorn that are like, "We're in charge, get out," and everyone's like, "Okay,"
It's like, okay, John Johnson, Fritz, whatever you
right?
want. Yeah.
Like, I'll walk in there and say I'm in charge, but like, no one would believe me,
Because you'd go, if you don't mind.
Excuse me, sorry, can anyone hear me? Yeah. So he is friendly, sociable, loud, boisterous, eccentric, and he quickly becomes the talk of Omaha. Wouldn't that be a dream?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, actually. Pretty soon he becomes like basically a local celebrity. He develops this like not even notoriety, like really just kind of fame in town as this eccentric guy. He actually had an active tumor behind his eye at the time, which
Oh,
required surgery, and so they actually had to remove his eye.
I literally,
What?
I think just like people who have any sort of eye adjacent surgery are unsung heroes that need a lot more
Oh,
applause. I
well, apparently it worked because he got an eye patch, and people were like, "We're so into this."
If someone ever has an eye anything, the respect goes sky high for me.
Have you ever
Even
seen that creator who like shows her different eyes that she puts in?
Mhm,
Yeah,
sure have.
yeah.
Sure have. I'll never be comfortable with my own eyeballs. So the second that anyone's like, "Oh yeah, someone had to touch them medically." I'm like, "Well,
Medically.
then I guess we're done here." Like, you win.
Well, apparently it was true, and he really did. It wasn't just like an eye patch accessory. Like he actually did have his eye removed, and so
Holy
he wore
shit.
this eye patch. And of course, this only added to his eccentricity in town. He also sported a neatly maintained pencil mustache, which was sometimes described as curled at the ends. So you can just
Mm,
picture this guy like pirate adjacent, like mustachioed man
mm.
named Fritz. Like he's just a goofball, and he wears these like bright colored jackets, colorful bow ties. Like he's just this character.
I do think he's kind of doing the identity thing wrong. Aren't you supposed to make like no big flary attentions?
Oh, you mean you're not supposed to become a local radio personality?
That's what I
Yeah.
meant.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, apparently he got the wrong rule book because he was described by folks as theatrical, showmanlike, or even, my favorite, vaudeville ready.
Hmm.
Really good stuff.
Perfect.
Really good stuff. He took a bartending job at the Round Table Bar and he performed small tricks to the clientele. He would spin bottles, he would flick ice, he would like deliver these spontaneous toasts for no reason. Some sources said that he'd go to places like a car dealership was having like a ribbon cutting ceremony and he would like give an impromptu speech even though he had nothing to do with the car dealership. Like he's
Kind of
just
giving Michael Scott.
yes. Okay, he's giving like I'm the center of attention, right? And everyone's like, "Huh?
He was
Who are
really
you?"
forcing the narrative that nobody's
But
asking.
the stuff you should know folks made a really good point that he was not like nobody looked down on him for that. Like nobody looked at him like in the Michael Scott like this guy, Not nobody, I wouldn't say that. But like in general, he wasn't considered a creep, he wasn't considered like a freak. Like he was just like, "Oh, he's that quirky guy and like
I
we're
mean,
into it."
I don't know if it's pretty privilege is popular privilege, I guess. It's like if you have enough confidence and enough
Right.
people backing you already saying that like you're vouched for, then you can
Mhm.
really get away with a
You can
lot.
rock anything a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, this guy is just like really involved in his community, I guess, to the point that he's giving like speeches at car dealerships. Um, but he's also like a really conscientious customer and that kind of thing. He tips like 200% on all his bar tabs and bills. He writes okay, so some of the weird I wrote down some of the weird idiosyncrasies he had, the eccentricities. So, for example, he wrote checks using the season instead of the date. So, he instead of saying August 5th, he would write late summer.
Doesn't feel legal.
I know, this is the 1950s for you.
I
And
see. Okay.
again, it's the privilege of this is how I do it. And everyone just has to kind of deal with
Right.
it.
Right.
And I feel like people thought this was a fun little quirk, but then it's like, okay, but like how annoying is that? Like if you work at the bank, right?
Yeah.
Another thing he did is he would take the tips he received to the bank. He would get them in like a glass milk jug. And when he wrote like the deposit slip, he would write 1 quart of tips.
Now that's good.
And then make the teller count it when he left. Like, it's kind of rude.
I mean, it's rude, but I mean, like, if you want to stick out,
I
that's
mean,
maybe.
yeah, clearly.
I mean, maybe that's part of why he's so remembered because he's known as like that fucking guy.
He's so weird. Like, he really does so many things that are like, huh? Like,
you know,
can't.
there's one person in town who's like, why do we give this guy so
Yeah,
much praise?
Like, does anybody else see
like he
what
gave
I
you
see
a quart of money and
Yeah.
is asking you to count it now.
and makes you count it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just weird. And so people were like obviously clocking all this behavior and were like, that's Fritz for you. He was very, very involved in the community. Like I said, he joined the Knights of Columbus. He participated in civic groups, charity activities, social events. He was very into volunteering, and his name Fritz became like kind of synonymous with his like quirky behavior. So people would know Fritz in all the different social circles. He often had people, a lot of ladies, over to his home. And at his home, he had no furniture. He only had cushions and beanbags. Like, it's a very bohemian vibe, I guess, back
You know
then.
what? He's clear. I keep wanting to make fun of him, but he's clearly doing something right.
He's
Like,
he's sticking to a vibe, I guess.
he at the very least the confidence is exuding. You know,
Yeah.
it's some sort of power. So.
Yes, exactly. He actually, on that note, also drove a hearse as his vehicle.
Okay. I mean, the hearse and the beanbags are I'm
That
on board.
feels very M coded to me.
Yeah.
He
Keep
had
getting
a
me. The
yeah,
chicken thing would really nail the coffin down. I
y-
would,
yeah, who would nail the coffin down
you know what I'm
into
saying?
the back of the hearse. Yeah. So he had this hearse and he had like a little lounge seating area in the back of the hearse, for when the ladies came over.
I get
And
it.
yeah. And he actually got the car registered as a hunting vehicle.
This guy's really
I
cool. I'm
know.
turning. I'm turning. I'm turning.
I know. Okay. And so when people ask, like, oh, where are you from? What's your backstory? He told like slightly contradicting stories, but he usually claimed he'd grown up in an orphanage, but he never explained where it was. He also said he was one of like 24 kids named John Johnson or something like that. And people were like, okay.
So the orphanage was a cult, or
I
like,
know, right? It sounds like it. Or just a really lazy.
yeah.
Like we're all just gonna call you John Johnson. But then as for Fritz, he claimed that this was from a comic called Katzenjammer Comic. And or he also occasionally told a story that in his time in the Navy, that his haircut, he looked German, and so people nicknamed him Fritz. And so nobody really knew where the name came from, but it stuck, and so that's what he used. One of the like most notable stunts that he pulled at this point is volunteering for a charity event that required, have you ever heard of something called a publicity roost? Like you did like sororities and stuff. So I don't know if this is a normal thing, but it sounds insane to me.
I don't know what that is.
That's good because if you did I would be worried, but it's basically where you live in a small box on top of a pole for several days.
No, but I'd do it.
I know. You're sick, okay? So basically, he immediately volunteered. They needed someone to live in a small box for a few days. And he said, sure, I'll do it. So they hoist him up there into this enclosure. And he stayed there throughout the whole fundraiser. I think it was for polio, I believe. He waved to onlookers. He joked with photographers. He was like interacting with the crowds. Again, like vamping. Friends used a pulley system to send supplies up to him, including newspapers, cigarettes, notes, sandwiches. I don't even want to know about the whole bathroom situation, but that's my first thought.
Sorry, finish your point, but I have a note to add to this.
Great. So the last thing I have to say is, according to multiple newspaper reports, his friends also used the pulley to send up martinis. Okay, go.
Okay, so very cool.
Yeah.
Allison and I went to a mini golf place in, I think, Newport, California, or at least on the
I
way
was
from.
like, Kentucky?
No. It was either in Newport or it was along the way back from Newport, and there's one hole that has what looks like a cartoonish like treehouse on the hole, and it's just like overlooking you, this big treehouse up in the air. And it has like, you wouldn't even notice, but there's this little plaque that says like a world Guinness record was broken of like somebody living up there for a while. And I looked him up, and
Named
apparently
Fritz.
no, that'd be crazy.
Oh.
No. But no, I looked it up, and I guess it was like during an actor strike, and he was an actor, and he was hoping that it would like garner attention or like some sort of protest for him, and nobody really cared, it seemed.
Oh,
It was like so
no.
sad. Although the town was really invested in this, and like a bunch of local restaurants started like scheduling out which days each of the restaurants would go deliver him food and like in solidarity or something. And so every night he had like a different restaurant like do a pulley system and
Oh.
bring food up for him.
Oh, see? It's a thing.
Yeah, I
I
also
guess.
don't know the bathroom situation, but he lived up there without coming down for like over a year.
A year?
It was
Okay.
crazy, yeah.
Fritz could never. He was up there for like a few days. Okay. But I love that it's called a publicity roost.
I never heard that phrase before.
I haven't either, and I love that they were seeking volunteers for it.
Yeah.
It's wild.
I mean,
wild.
I would also volunteer. I'd be like,
I know you would. I
it's
know you
easy.
would. You're like
A week
free
maximum.
sandwiches? Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were setting martinis up through via a pulley system, which I adore. And of course, this stunt contributed to his local notoriety. When he came down from the publicity roost, he got into a convertible with a bunch of models, and they all like put their arms over him as they drove away. Like he's like a showman. He's vaudeville ready, as they say.
I feel like he's doing a lot of what what major collabs would do these days to try to promote something, but he's doing all of them back to back,
But
and
also,
no one's
like,
asking.
it's what they want. It's like what what these brands would want to pull off, but like he's just like doing it on a whim on his own. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
incredible.
Marketers could never nowadays. He also developed a strong affinity for archery. And as part of this whole archery situation, he said it was because he had a bad back and it was like good exercise for his back. But he became skilled very quickly. He practiced intensely and at night a lot of the time. And he ended up competing in tournaments, gained statewide attention, and even won the Nebraska State Indoor Archery Championship.
Damn.
I know. So this win generated press coverage focused on the novelty of a man with one eye being like an expert archer, right?
You
like,
know what?
They
That is
love this shit.
incredible.
It is incredible.
He has no depth perception. That's incredible.
Right? I know. And so they got really into it, and the Yeoman Archery Company said, we want to sponsor you. And so now he's like a sponsored archery expert and is like going on tours and all this stuff.
It has now switched from Catch Me If You Can to Forrest Gump.
Okay, all
where
right.
he like becomes like the ping pong master all of a sudden, you know?
Yeah, so we're on to something here with my own affinity to this story. I'm seeing the pattern here.
He's just like fulfilling every pop culture movie from the 90s, it seems.
Uh-huh.
What's next? Does he sink in a ship called the Titanic? I don't know.
He already sank on a ship.
Oh my god, he did.
OMG.
I feel like all the movies from the 90s were just written about different chapters of his life at this point.
And he had a makeover. Like every other
Pretty
90s
Woman?
movie. I don't know. I feel like there's a million. Yeah, Pretty Woman.
He took his
Clueless.
glasses off while walking down the steps and everyone realized he was beautiful just in time for prom.
Thank God.
I
He's
know.
hot now.
Finally.
That eye patch really does it. People were really into it. He got a lot of ladies.
You know what? Good for him.
Listen, I'd be into a guy with an eye patch for sure.
And with this amount of lore, I'd be interested in him.
For real. Like, you want to be him. I know it. I feel it. I can't get over it. And as part of this whole archery deal, he would, of course, do trick shots like popping balloons, shooting behind his back, doing like timed shots, and like vamping with the crowd as he did archery. Like, he's just a showman. He even signed autographs for people in this like elaborate way where he just wrote Fritz or Fritz Johnson. And he gave like really lively speeches at the archery events and occasionally entertained audiences by eating an entire chicken, bones and all.
You got to go back to your roots.
You can't not. If that's a skill you have to use it.
In the
You know what I
words
mean?
of Hannah Montana, you'll always find your way back home.
As Lindsay Lohan once said. So, of course, as I already alluded to, he became somewhat of a local radio station personality at KBON Radio. And he would deliver sports segments, local event updates. He was described as having a warm, animated voice. His voice was very recognizable. And they knew him as like the guy with the eye patch. He'd often rib his friends who were getting married and like said things like, oh, that's a big mistake. You know, marriage is for losers, whatever. He would make commentary about like people getting married. But then he met a woman named Nancy, and in 1959, they were married and had a child together. And he kind of ate his words and was like, you're right, but I hadn't met Nancy yet, you know? Neighbors remembered him as an affectionate, helpful, and very involved father and husband, and no one really questioned him because they didn't have reason to. In early 1960, Fritz traveled to Chicago for a major sports expo as a representative of Yeoman Archery. He performed demonstrations in a bright jacket and bow tie, interacting with crowds and exhibitors. But one man had come up from Akron, Ohio, and stopped short when he saw what basically looked like the ghost of his former acquaintance, Larry Bader, who, for all intents and purposes, had died in a tragic boating accident 3 years earlier, never had a mustache, and surely didn't wear an eye patch.
You know, the fun had to end somewhere. And if you're playing with fire, that obviously.
And you
know?
are playing with fire. Really, I mean, pushing
you gotta keep a low profile if you're going second identity. Like, you can't
pushing the envelope.
But something was gonna happen. People were gonna talk. You're too fucking weird. People were gonna talk.
You're too weird, and the newspapers don't have anything better to talk about, you know?
100%.
He called Larry's niece because the guy was like, okay, I'm sure this is Larry, but I feel like I need his family to like confirm. So his niece drives up from Akron and is like, that's my uncle.
Yeah.
And multiple reports say she approached him and said some variation of, excuse me, sir, aren't you my Uncle Larry? Which is a wild thing to say. And he said, oh, no, I think you have me mistaken with someone else. And she's like, nope, I'm pretty confident you're Larry. So she calls some male relatives and asks Fritz to get on the phone, and he's like, I mean, sure, I'll talk to them, I guess, just to kind of put this aside. He gets on the phone, and his brother and cousin are like, Larry? Like, we would recognize your voice anywhere. And they contacted the police. Fritz agreed to get fingerprints taken because he really was like, what are you guys talking about?
I think I know where we're going now.
I think you do too. He got his fingerprints taken. He agreed to it. He went in and he got them compared with this other fellow, Larry Bader's fingerprints, because they were both in the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
Fritz basically intimated that this was all a big misunderstanding, but when they checked the fingerprints, of course, they were a match. And it was officially declared that Fritz Johnson and Larry Bader were the same man. And when he found out, he reportedly said something like, well, that answers that.
Well, I've done weirder things, so
Yeah, he was like, huh?
add it
I
to the door.
guess. And it's weird because, like, it wasn't that he denied it at this point. He was like, well, if the fingerprints say it, I guess that's my identity. Like, he didn't deny it. You know what I mean?
Well, so what I was thinking, or is there? Do you know what I was thinking?
Yes, but please go ahead because I'd like you to bring it up if you don't mind.
Okay, so my guess is that he did fall off that ship and on his way down hit his head, and
So that is a major theory.
okay, because he does seem to not know what's going on here.
And remember the eye,
Yeah,
the
like
brain
maybe,
tumor?
yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
So there are a couple theories here, right? Like, did he take advantage of that and pretend like he didn't remember? Was it like because he knew he had the tumor he could blame, you know?
And also, if he knew he had the tumor, maybe he thought he was leaving his family before something terminal happened. Like maybe he thought like
right.
maybe I'm saving them by them not having to see me suffer, and then it.
Right.
I
And
don't
a lot
know.
of
I don't know.
some theories are that he went to die by suicide on this boat trip and then, you know, it went awry. He was injured. He didn't know. He went into a fugue state. He didn't know, you know. And these things weirdly do happen. These like dissociative fugues where you literally don't remember your own biographical history and
Yeah.
your brain as a coping mechanism like invents a story. And on that note, I should mention that his former boss was Fritz something or other.
Oh, so maybe he just kind of remembered the name.
And they think maybe he just pulled that from somewhere in his mind and was like, oh, yeah, that's me, Fritz, and just went with it. And he had some of it right, like the Navy and all that. But then he genuinely appeared baffled by this whole situation, which was kind of bizarre. So he insisted he had no memory of his Ohio life, but he took this fingerprint test really seriously and was like, well, I guess if that's what it says. He also denied knowing his wife, Mary Lou, or any of his children. He met with them and he even enjoyed their company. Like they spent a couple days together in Chicago. But Mary Lou basically claimed like he doesn't know who we are. She's like, he does not have any history of a relationship with us, which must be so scary.
So messed up. Yeah. And especially like confusing for the kids when like your dad isn't excited to see you and like.
I will say the oldest was 6 when he disappeared.
Okay.
So he would remember probably some, but you know, really little. So most of them didn't even remember him very well.
Okay.
And
It's almost a blessing. It's like at least you're not totally heartbroken. I don't know.
Yeah, it must be a like a sick feeling though to be like, did my dad like leave on purpose? You know?
Sure.
And
yeah.
And Mary Lou had already kind of grieved and moved on, and she was actually engaged to a new man. But now that they found her husband, she was a good Catholic and said, well, I'm not getting divorced, so we're still married.
This feels like this whole episode has just been a big ad for that new Elizabeth Olsen movie. Have you seen about it?
No, I'm so out of touch.
Oh, so she dies and she was married twice, but I guess in this movie, when you go to the afterworld, you get to pick like the partner that you want to spend eternity with, like almost like an actual like marriage, like committing forever. And so her first husband who died early versus the guy that she ended up marrying and.
Is it like a drama or comedy? I'm sorry,
I think it's like a rom-com.
How fun!
But and one of them is Miles Teller. I forget who the other one is.
I'm getting more and more excited.
But no, she has to. The whole movie is basically her 2 husbands from different periods in her life having to compete with each other of like who's she going to want to spend eternity with because she only gets to pick one.
Okay, well,
And
that would suck for like most of America, most of everybody, because I feel like everyone
I
gets
know.
divorced and remarried.
Well, anyway, no, this feels a little like that where she's like, "Well, what do I do? I've got
Well,
my
I guess
husband
I'm
came back from
stuck
the
with
dead
you.
and I'm
Yes.
engaged and yeah.
Well, it gets worse because not only did she have to now, well, she didn't have to, but she chose to not press charges and stay in the marriage because she didn't want to go against her belief system. But also, the government said, "Hey, we want all that money back." Not the government.
Oh,
Well, the government did, but also the insurance, the life insurance company said, "We want our money back." Also, the government said, "We want all those payments back we sent monthly," which was like 200 some bucks a month, which today is like 2 grand.
you know,
And so
part of her was thinking like, "Why couldn't you have just stayed hidden?"
oh, she actually did say, she said she wished she initially said she wished he had never been discovered. Like she
Yeah.
wished he could have just lived his life out where he was and not
Hmm.
ruined, not ruined, but like really just upset everybody's life because
And
now all
imagine
of a sudden,
the other new husband is like, "God damn it." It's
I
like-
know, he's like, I was so close.
yeah.
But so remember, he was remarried to Nancy and had a
With a
child
kid.
with her, and now suddenly that marriage is no longer legal.
Yeah.
And she's kind of like freaked out obviously and is like, what is going on? And she's all worried about his ex and his kids, and she's like, well, not his ex, his his wife. It's all so confusing. um Even the boat rental folks reached out and said, you owe us money for that damaged boat, which made me laugh.
So
Like, he can't
heartless.
catch a break. um yeah, so it really shattered her life and upset a lot of people's stability. Now, as for the aftermath of all this, like I said, his marriage to Nancy was invalidated. Mary Lou did not press charges, which she could have pressed charges for bigamy or abandonment, but she did not. He lost his sponsorship from Yeoman Archery.
Oh.
He withdrew from public life. He moved out into a separate place from Nancy. He had very limited contact with both families, even though he was still married to Mary Lou. But he picked up a job and lived at the YMCA and would just send them monthly payments. Both
This poor
Nancy,
guy.
I know, Nancy and Mary Lou. Um, National newspapers covered the story extensively. Like, what a spectacle, right? Just a total spectacle. Come back from the dead with a mustache and an eye patch. Like, what in the world? Of course, his attorney argued that his tumor was what caused this kind of dissociative. They called it something different. They called it like a modern day schizophrenia, but in reality, it was like dissociative identity disorder and
Mhm.
or a tumor impacting his memory, and creating like this identity crisis. So the newspapers were all over it, and as part of one of the articles that covered it, he was quoted as saying he was still baffled and confused. He had no clue about his past in Ohio, and maybe God would end up having to sort this out. Well, famous last words because he died within a year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the cancer from his eye had spread to his liver, and he died at only 39 years old.
But
Um,
what a life he lived.
I know what lives he lived.
He fit a lot in 39 years. Oh my
He sure
god.
did. He sure did. Lots of kids, lots of names, uh,
Lots of
lots of
stories.
stunts, you know? And
Yeah.
he maintained until his death that he had no memory of his life as Larry. Um, they actually held two services, one for Larry
Oh wow.
and one for Fritz. And the Fritz memorial was in Omaha, and obviously the other one was in Akron. Um, just really incredible stuff. He never acknowledged recovering any memory, and if it were a dissociative fugue state, those can actually last months, even years. And so, maybe if he had had 5 extra years,
Mhm.
it would have come back to him. Because typically, with those situations, within a few months or years, when you're faced with your original family or memories, they come back. Like, they tend to resurface.
Mhm.
But he claimed he had zero memory of any of it until his dying day. But again, it was only a year later. Maybe it would have come back to him eventually. Um, he's either a really good actor or,
Right.
which is possible, or he really had forgotten somehow. But his case does continue to be cited in lots of discussions, whether it's amnesia, dissociative fugue, mistaken identity, double lives, whether it's a crime story or a psychology story. He underwent evaluation at the Mayo Clinic, and doctors have confirmed he did have a tumor removed behind his left eye. He did have radiation treatments, optic nerve damage. They stated amnesia was medically possible. However, they emphasized there is, of course, no way to determine whether his amnesia was genuine or
Right.
fabricated. And so the findings are inconclusive and nobody knows.
That's
The end.
wild. Honestly, though, I see why this is one of your favorites. And also, please bring back more true crime that we can just banter, because that was like
I know, isn't it
a
wild? And like,
fun crime. I don't even know if I don't
yeah.
even know where the crime was, but I guess it's a mystery.
Yeah, it's a mystery, exactly. And like somebody commented recently like that I never do serial killers anymore, and I guess I never really thought about it. It's not intentional. I think I just covered all the really big ones early, like not early, but like I did Ed Gein, Jeffrey Dahmer, John Wayne Gacy. Like I've done all those, and I feel like they're so pop culture now that I feel like I just tend to gravitate toward the lesser known ones. But
Sure.
I almost
Also,
did a serial killer today, and then I was like, no, I want to do this. So to that
that's
person,
fine.
sorry.
Well, also, I like I said with my cases, like sometimes there's ones that like are just there's a lot of meat to them, so it just
Mm-hmm.
takes a long
Mm-hmm.
time to
Mm-hmm.
do. Like there's some I'm still waiting for you to cover, but I do know that they're huge cases, and so I'm like I don't.
What are they? Just as a refresher for my memory.
Well, some of them are also like I don't know what if you have updated boundaries, but like there's like the Albert Fish one who like
Oh
ate
yeah.
children or some
Oh
shit like that.
yeah.
Like I don't know like where you stand on those. So I just if they don't show up, then they just don't show up. I mean I
Yeah,
never know what you're
yeah.
gonna cover before we get here, so it's always
Isn't
a
that fun?
mystery to me. Yeah.
Yeah, Albert Fish, good point. Yeah. There I guess I know I'm like I've covered all the serial killers. It's like no.
Well,
No.
you've covered all the ones that like don't necessarily have children as the victims, and I
I
know
guess I've covered yeah, fair enough.
that
Well,
was
I've
one of
covered
our
all the ones
things.
that are like like current Netflix specials, I
Sure.
guess.
No, when we first started though, it was like, anything that had to do with like kids as the main victims were
Yeah.
like we didn't want to touch.
Yeah, I've
So
definitely kind of given up on that because I feel like there are so many cases that cross that boundary, and I've kind of
yeah.
I think especially when I was pregnant, I got really like in my head about it, and I think I've kind of relaxed on that, but I do make sure to announce it early so people who are still
Yeah.
understandably not into it at all
Fair
can
enough.
peace
Yeah.
out. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, this was such a nice
This felt
moment
like a
to like
lighter, easy breezy,
throw these in every now and then because that was fun.
Yeah, isn't that weird? Well, so here are my thoughts. Like here are the theories. Either he had some sort of brain tumor or something that impacted his memory, but then why it was just a weird timing, right? With this boat accident and then like the storm and then he disappeared with a suitcase of cash. Like it just
Yeah.
lines up very, perfectly. And then also obviously like you mentioned the theory of maybe he sustained a head injury on the boat or in the boat accident and went overboard, something like that. I mean, I really liked your point of like maybe the briefcase was at risk or whatever, and he like went after it. Who knows? But there was also such a bad storm that the Coast Guard was like, he would not have survived this, like if he were
Mm.
out on the water.
I don't know.
So
His story's already so wild that maybe another wild point is that he did survive a storm.
exactly, it's like that's what I thought because I'm like, well, surely it wouldn't be this, and I'm like, but surely this man wouldn't exist at all, and yet here he is
I
living on top of a telephone pole with a martini. I don't know.
I think another reason why you like the story so much is because he does remind me of all the good chaos that you bring to a table.
Oh, thank you. That's so nice. I do feel
And
it's
you would
a
oddly
character.
survive a storm like that.
I would like accidentally go fishing in the world's worst storm and then like
Uh,
end up in Omaha
you
somehow.
you would do a lot of like, well, let's see, we're probably fines, and then
The
against all
Coast Guard. I'm
odds
like, don't
survive.
worry, Coast Guard. I'm okay.
Like it's even
I
just
don't want to bother you. Don't
such
worry
a
about
small
rescuing.
example, but you with that fucking hammering your curtains into the walls, like the way that
Oh yeah. Now
you just
imagine
kind
my
of
exposed brick trying to hammer shit into that. It's really not pretty.
like you would just find a way to just make it work every
Just
time
like surf the Lake Erie wave during a
with your
hurricane.
hammer.
With my hammer and my briefcase of cash. Hi, I'm Fritz. I mean, it's just like out of control. But then you think, well, he's under financial strain.
Hmm.
Um of like 20 some grand, right? And he has a fourth child on the way. Like these are stressors.
Yeah.
And he'd always been into like the get rich quick and like skip the labor and the waiting and so maybe he was like, fuck it, I'll start new. Maybe. And like maybe he just knew that he could always point to the brain tumor and say, well, I have no memory of this. And maybe he really was just good at pretending.
Yep.
Who knows? I
I
mean,
think
it's
that's a great
wild.
point. Like I could see him knowing that he can swindle people.
Yeah.
And if he wanted to get away and he felt freaked out or he felt maybe suffocated in some way, or he
Mhm.
felt just terrified of what time he had left because he was sick. I could see
Mhm.
him just being like one last hoorah.
Yeah.
They're gonna lose me anyway, so I'll just beat them to the punch and I'm just gonna go do something fucking
Right. I
wild and
mean, he
I'll
was
get away
dead
with it.
within 5 years of that boat accident. And it makes me wonder too, when his personality shifted so dramatically, like people who had known him before said like that he did not behave this way when I knew him. Like he did the chicken thing, but like he was really chill and reserved, and now he's like wearing bow ties and like on the radio. And of course, like you said, aren't you supposed to be under the radar? But then my counterpoint to that is, depending on this guy's actual personality, like some people cannot help but put themselves in the spotlight. Like we see
That's
these
fair.
people who are like either sociopaths or whatever they are, but they're just like, I can't resist the spotlight. So I'm not saying that's him. I'm just saying I think it's possible that somebody would just like say, fuck it. I want to ride high while I can and be this. And maybe he was like, maybe if it were a brain situation or just like a fugue state of stress or whatever, maybe it was like, oh, he'd always wanted to be this larger than life character, and maybe he knew
Yeah.
someone, maybe his boss Fritz, maybe somebody like
Or maybe
resonated.
he had like a head injury and it just made him act
Or
impulsively
it
and that's
changed
why
his behavior. Exactly. Because they say that too. I mean, that happens too when people have head injuries,
I mean,
right?
he literally was just getting up and just making speeches that nobody expected him to be
Yes.
prepared for. I mean, he might have just been like kind of just reacting to things and not knowing.
I think he maybe had just picked, yeah, had like changed his personality in a way, and maybe it was just parts of him came out that weren't there before. And
The chicken stayed though. The
the
chick
chicken never. I mean, and that there's nothing worse about the story than that for me.
he
It really
always
is the
had that
worst part.
hankering. He was like chicken with bones, please.
Imagine like when they were doing the pulley system, and they're like, "Can we get you a sandwich?" He's like, "Actually, I'll just take an entire Kirkland brand roast chicken, please,
Extra
bones and
cartilage
all."
and don't worry about coming back to retrieve the skeleton.
Imagine having to. Oh, there won't be any remnants of it.
I
I'm fucking sick, dude.
I know we're not I don't mean to keep harping on that, but like that you started there and
I
it just
did.
only got more insane.
I know. It's just like, what in the world? And so, yeah, anyway, it's just a baffling story because every time I convince myself of one theory, I'm like, but what about
Mhm.
this? You know?
Mhm.
And so it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think anyone knows. And the fact that his own wife was like, he doesn't know who I am. Like, I believe her, you know?
I put this on par with one of my other favorite stories that you've recently covered,
Hmm.
which was the guy
Was it?
who shot himself in the crotch, or the guy who got shot in the crotch, and then
Oh,
nobody knew how he
yes.
died.
Through
I
the hotel room.
Yeah,
Oh my God, that was one of the wildest stories
I
ever.
really like these wild mysteries that just make no sense.
Because it feels like if you saw this in a movie or that in a movie, you'd be like, there's no way that would ever happen.
Yeah, like as a TV producer, if someone was pitching it to me, I'd be like, that's not realistic
That's
enough.
ridiculous. Yeah, it feels like Stranger Than Fiction, which is
Yes.
incidentally one of my top 3 favorite movies of all time. So I'm starting to really pick up the pattern here.
Which this could have also been based off of.
Could
Yeah.
have also very well. But yeah, it's just really, and
Wow.
it's sad too, just because like his it really disrupted so many people's lives, like Nancy and Mary Lou and
Sure.
the kids. But like, it's just like on purpose or not on purpose. Like, was he just like going fishing, like you said, because he just felt like it, or
Yeah.
I don't know.
It sounds truly with him, fortunately and unfortunately, anything is possible.
Yeah, I know exactly. That's so true. It's like weirder things have clearly happened to this guy. So
I can't even think of every time I think of a weird thing, I'm like, no, that's not the weirdest.
yes,
And that's just
yeah,
what you've reported. I'm sure there's other things where like
there
he's still
are.
like a local legend
I
for
kept
something
adding
else.
things, and I was like, another one, and there are more. Oh, I know what I was going to say. The last thing, as I was going through the notes this time, it didn't occur to me until today, until I was going through the story with you. But the fact that he didn't write dates and he never counted his money, I'm
Because he
like,
didn't know what time it
maybe
was.
he had like a brain an issue with numbers.
Yeah, there's
Like
part
if
of
he's
his
not counting his money and he's not writing the date, and people are like, that's fine. Like maybe it was really something he couldn't grasp.
numbers. You're totally
Hmm.
right. Wow. That's a good point.
And
I
he's
think
also tipping 200%.
Yeah, he can't. He's got something
I
going
think there's
on.
something up with the numbers too.
I think he wasn't faking it.
I don't know that he was faking it either. I feel like there was an element of like, and it's very rare, but again, like this guy's clearly one in a million. So
He really is. I mean, yeah.
yeah,
The
one in a
chances are
billion.
low, but not zero. You know.
Right, exactly. To write like autumn of the year is what he would write.
Yeah, I think he just. I think it was
And the bank
either.
actually had instructions to call him on the first of every new season because they were like, we need to tell him when the new season
You
begins.
know
So
what?
I really think there was like a number
If
thing.
he had a head injury, then I love how accessible they were to
I
people
do
who need
too.
help.
That was my other thought because I'm like, why would they accept this? And I'm like, but maybe it was like he literally couldn't do it, and they were like, okay, that's fine, like maybe that's why.
Interesting.
So
Interesting.
that's literally just completely my conjecture, just to point out that that occurred to me today. So I don't want to claim that as fact, but
No, I think he had a head injury. That's gonna be
that's
my
what it
guess.
feels like, doesn't it? Because, and you know what? Maybe he did go out there to die by suicide. Maybe he really was like stressed and whatever, and was like, I'm I'm leaving. I don't know. Maybe he was too cocky and thought he could go fishing and skip
I
the
think
storm.
I think he was. I think he went out there to maybe hurt himself, or I think he
Then
was
why would he
just.
like take the money?
Or I think he was a daredevil, and I think it fell into the water, and he went to go find it and hit his head on the boat or something. I don't know. It's
Something.
it's one of those two where either way the head and I don't know. I don't know anymore.
But then it's like, oh, and he had a tumor too. And it's like, well, shit.
And did he know about the tumor
I
before?
don't know. I'm
Oh
not sure.
man,
That was the other
because that
thing.
that would make me think. Then this was an attempt.
Yeah.
If he didn't know about the tumor, I think he's just kind of he made stupid decisions, and I think you're right. He didn't want to leave the money in the car, so he went on the boat,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it was an accidental hit on his head.
Yeah,
That's
something like that, right?
it's only one of those two branches in my head. I can't imagine another scenario.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
on a stormy tide like that, like you're gonna if you're rocking around on that boat, you can hit your head on anything. You could fall in and you hit your head on the side of the boat. You could
Yeah, but then what was the intention of even getting on the boat? Like, was it like just to have a good time, or was it like to escape,
maybe I
or
don't know. Maybe he was trying to
um
skip. I have no idea. I have no fucking
hmm,
clue. I
isn't he
hate that we'll
crazy?
never know.
And then he ends up in Omaha, Nebraska, of all things.
Yeah, not what I saw coming.
Yeah. So just really baffling all around.
Great story.
Next week I'll be back with something really upsetting and horrendous. So enjoy it while it lasts.
You know what? These palate cleansers are lovely though.
Yeah, it was refreshing to have a non-violent crime for once.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I hope everyone is making safe treks towards their Thanksgiving
Mhm.
destinations.
Well, are you
Don't
going to Seattle? Or
I am.
sorry, am I supposed to say that? Okay.
Yeah, I go every year. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. Are you taking hankies or is he staying? I
No,
forget.
Hanky's is getting boarded.
Oh, he's getting boarded. Okay.
Because Thanksgiving is nowhere near as long
Oh,
as Christmas is.
right. Is he coming to Christmas though, right? To meet the fam or not really?
Tentatively. I don't totally know what the plan is yet. It seems like our whole holiday schedule is getting kind of thrown around in different directions. So I really don't know what's happening with Christmas yet. But Thanksgiving is
I mean, I don't either with my own Christmas and I have a child, so don't worry.
well,
You'll figure it out.
we might have Christmas, we might have a short Christmas, we might be postponing Christmas for like a month and doing like a late Christmas. Like it's all up in the air right now. So
Well, you got to get your hoverboard, so
I know. I told him. I said get me 3.
get me 3 and get one for Hank.
But no, for right now, Hank is not coming to Thanksgiving. There's just little kids and
Mhm.
other dogs,
Mhm.
and my aunt has some chronic illnesses and that are
Yeah.
not suitable for a dog who likes to jump on people.
Yeah.
Um. So anyway, it's he is not welcome, and that's fine
Well,
by me.
well, I'll be across the coast in Connecticut, so I'll wave to you from afar.
Well, a Connecticut Thanksgiving sounds
It's really nice.
very nice. Also very
Ev-
pilgrimy.
yeah, sorry, that
But
part's not great.
but beautiful. It seems
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, there's a lot of nice stuff over there in the fall. It's really pretty. So,
I'm very jealous. You're actually going to see like changing leaves and stuff.
oh, I've had that for 2 months. Don't worry, it's already snowed for several days.
Send me a red leaf sometime. I'm over it over
Leona
here.
collects them, so she'll send you an entire envelope or Ziploc bag. Don't worry.
I tell her I want a tree amount of leaves.
Okay, good. We've have at least 3 times that downstairs. So
Hank would like the trunk part.
Aw. Hey, does he want a piece of mango slice from a not mango slice, mango tree slice from a encased in resin from a certain
No.
friend called Gina? No, he
No, but
doesn't
you know
want
what I
that.
got really jazzed about? It's a late birthday present, very late birthday present for me. But I've been telling Allison since we got here, she is desperate to have a tree in the yard. I don't fucking
Oh
want one.
yeah.
Um,
I remember that.
but she offered me a healthy compromise, and I get to pick the tree. And the tree that I picked,
Lemon?
it's called a fruit punch tree, and
Oh, you would.
it's a bunch of stone fruit all on the same tree. It's like
What?
plums and nectarines and shit all
Fruit
on the same
punch
tree.
tree? I've never heard of such a thing.
Fruit punch tree.
Wow. That's crazy. I've
Yeah,
never heard of such a
peaches,
thing.
nectarines, apricots, cherries, and plums.
Holy shit, you're gonna make so much jam.
I literally, other than apricots, every single one of those is one of my favorite fruits.
Well, there
Apricots
you
can
go.
rot. They can
What, really?
rot.
I don't like apricot jam.
I don't care.
Aprikose. That's it in German.
Oh,
Ugh, everyone would make it marmalade.
I can't stand
I
apricot.
can't stand it.
The skunks can have that one.
I like it plain, but not in marmalade.
That's fair.
Thank you.
I won't send you any. So
Thanks.
you're welcome.
You're gonna send me a whole box of just apricots. Thanks. Is it
just
apricot or apricot?
I say apricots, but anyway, me and my fruit punch tree wave happy holidays to you.
Thank you. I will wave back and hopefully snag a few on my way. So
And
that's
why
we